that any better? I just switched to the Brio.
It's still not clear.
That was before I asked again.
Yay!
It's even difficult to better.
There, we're good.
Oh Jesus! Thank God. Okay.
Drink.
I need some alcohol.
Dang.
Oh my God. I even rebooted the laptop, everything. And yes, I left a bad review to StreamYard for bad audio quality. Okay.
Well, you get a nice view of our kitchen here in Progreso. Just saying.
Cheers.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh my goodness. Maybe it was the title. Lucky number 7.
I'm still trying to figure out how we had that problem in Merida, and then something we did, we cleared it, but I can't remember. And
it was nothing that we cleared. I made an assumption that it might have been software that I was playing with right before that.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But that was not the case because
no,
I didn't have any other software open.
Okay, so it mysteriously went away.
It went away. Only on that mic. But I tried that outside. I tried it outside and it didn't do it.
So well, it's good to see everybody again.
Yes, thank you for coming back.
Yes, and the move went well. And it's really weird. I mean, to be 100% totally honest, we have moved a lot further.
Oh, this one kicked our butts.
And it, this was almost as bad as doing the Zakia to San Miguel, which again we did in 2 moves. But that one we had COVID. But this one, don't know what it was. But oh my God, when we were done, we were just like.
I think it was 3 months of living in a single level home with no stairs. And then we moved here and it was hot and we had stairs.
Yeah, 1 flight, but yeah, it was 1 flight of stairs. And most of the stuff ended up, the storage stuff, because there's the extra rooms are upstairs, all went up the stairs. So, but yeah, I mean, by the time Saturday night rolled around, we were both just like,
oh. This was bad. And then I kept forgetting things.
Oh.
Like I tried growing some Cherokee purple heirloom tomatoes, not because I thought I was going to have an opportunity to actually have a bunch of tomatoes, but my seeds, seeds are only good for so long. And I collected them, and it's been almost 2 years that I've had these seeds. So I just wanted to grow just 1 freaking tomato so I could collect the seeds. Well, I left all the plants in Merida, and it doesn't take very long for them to die in that sun. So they're dead, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I left my magnets on the refrigerator. I left my hat probably on the hooks.
Probably.
Don't know.
We're going back tomorrow because I had to have 1 hearing aid worked on. A weird thing, sitting outside in Merida, a very close lightning strike, and all of a sudden 1 hearing aid just started going, and I had to take the battery out. And then when I put the battery back in, it didn't work. So they did the repair on it, and it's all under warranty. But so, and of course it occurred close enough that there was no way they were going to get it back before we left. So fortunately, they are not far from the house, so we'll be able to shoot right down. And the people that we our hosts have been fantastic, and they were just like
fantastic.
I haven't had enough to drink from that fiasco of moving everything in here. But so they were like, yeah, we're doing some work there. If we're not there, you guys know the code to the key box. Get the keys, get your stuff that you need. Whatever.
It's cool.
So.
And maybe there'll be like some, Feria de Animas
God, I hope not.
something going on.
Because
Yeah.
if there is, that's going to be harder to get down the street.
So, hey, no, I did not get into his humidor. See, okay, so the internet here in Progreso at the house absolutely sucks. It could suck much more than it sucked in Zakia. That's how bad
They're
it is.
about equivalent.
They're
Yeah.
about the same. It's bad. So if we kind of flake in and out a little bit, it's because I'm on the Starlink satellite. And so the satellite sometimes,
Yeah, we had to get the ladder
Flakes a
out
little.
and go up onto one of the terraces and then put it up there. And
yeah. So that's what we're on.
Yeah.
And it's in the house. And Mark wants to smoke cigars. To do that, we have to be outside. So he sets everything up on the patio strictly for the ability to smoke a cigar during this live stream. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
yeah, well, it did the same thing in here. So something was just weird. I mean,
Yeah.
because I live out there and don't have a problem. So I think just bugaboo in the system.
Bugaboo.
Bugaboo.
Bugaboo. That reminds me of the Bugaloos.
Yeah.
They're in the air and everywhere. Who remembers the Bugaloos?
I remember the boogaloo from Mott the Hoople.
Oh no.
All the young dudes.
Yeah, but this is
I know.
This is the Sid and Marty cry.
Yes, I know. So
Where you had to be like, dosing acid to watch those shows.
or writing them.
Or writing them.
You know,
Oh goodness.
that was bad. So initial quick thoughts of Progreso, just to give you a feel. Very different
It's
than
different.
Merida.
Yes, look, this kitchen is really nice and it's got an oven. Mark was just like flaking out about the oven because he wants to make a box of brownies because he hasn't had brownies in like 6 months.
I know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we decided that brownie mix has been hard to find sometimes. I can make them homemade. I just learned, I was today years old when I learned that powdered sugar has cornstarch in it. I had no clue. And it makes so much sense now.
Yep. Because we got one box of brownies left, and when we went to the store,
Hey, all right. Bugaloos.
there weren't any more brownies. So we're like, we're doing it from scratch.
Yes.
So
So
no,
it's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's a lot quiet.
Well, quieter than Merida.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's very subdued. And the streets are wider. Of course, there's
That's right, Cindy. I got a batch of dough in the fridge right now.
Yep.
Good and sour.
so. Yeah, no, this place. We really liked it when we looked at it, but we had no clue that it was as big
Oh yeah.
as what it really
the
is.
pictures don't really show
No.
how large this house is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's expansive.
That's the
So,
word.
but Progreso, I mean, we've walked Malecon at night, 10 o'clock on a Sunday night,
Mhm.
roll it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they didn't have ships in town.
No.
And we learned that the ships, ports of call schedule for Progreso are available online in multiple places. It looks like Carnival is their primary cruise ship that comes in,
And Disney
which
occasionally.
is Carnival.
Yep.
So Carnival's coming in, and it looks like they do it weekly, although
Well, it makes
maybe
sense.
maybe the Disney ones are like an additional.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, they tend to run the same route all winter long. So, I mean, if they leave from Fort Lauderdale, they're going to go boom, 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 and then back. So,
Right. See? Yes. Having an oven so that you could bake
Yeah.
things. I mean,
we had lasagna
I
tonight.
know a lot of people don't have ovens in Mexico, but man, yeah, we have lasagna tonight. Oh, so good.
And okay. man, I really don't feel like cooking tonight. I'm just gonna grab an oven, a pizza out of the freezer and toss it in there.
Yep.
You know, bang,
Done.
we're back in business. So
Yeah. And beach life. Yes, Matthew. Beach life.
yeah, Matt,
It's got that vibe.
yeah, it does. I mean, we're a block and a half from the beach, or 2 blocks, whatever. It's not very far.
A block and a half.
Block and a half. That's about right. And there's beach clubs, like 5 or 6 of them that are pretty close proximity. And then, of course, once you hit the Malecon, you've got restaurant after restaurant after restaurant.
Yep.
And they also do have the massages down there, which, we are going to avail ourselves of, but we're not going to do it on a port day.
Nope.
When the cruises are in, because, then demand is higher and, the prices will probably go up. Whereas when demand's low, we're going, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've already eaten out a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good, but Mark's going to be at such a disadvantage here.
Know that anytime we get close to the water.
I love seafood. He does not. So beef hasn't been a thing. Luckily, he's found chicken.
And Chinese.
Oh, yeah. Hey, speaking of Chinese, that was the best damn Chinese we've had in Mexico yet.
Oh, by far.
I mean,
Yeah.
the lo mein was so good. You could eat it hot or cold. It was
Well,
so
I
good.
think the biggest shock actually was when we walked in and there was a young lady of Chinese descent behind the counter.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, she looked like she was, she's Asian.
I'm just saying, we don't know that.
Okay, she's Asian. We can say that. She was definitely not, Mexican. And yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was
So,
good.
you got a place in La Paz, someday. La Paz is on the destination. So,
About 3 years from now, we should be in La Paz.
here's a good question. Hello. Are we worried about safety? Well, I can't really judge that just yet in La Paz, but I will say this
La
name.
Paz.
Sorry, La Paz, Progreso. It's on my mind.
Okay.
Beach. But Progreso's a really sleepy kind of town. And I feel like the safety is okay here, and we're on the very quiet side of it. Now, I could say in Merida, totally felt
Well,
safe.
all the statistics are that the 2 safest states in the country are the Yucatan and Campeche. And we've driven a lot of Yucatan. We've been in Valladolid, Chichen Itza, Uxmal, Ismal, Merida, Progreso, Sisal. We've done some driving and been in a lot of communities. And so far in Yucatan, I can honestly say I've never had anything that's made me go, ooh, maybe we shouldn't go down here, or this looks a little shady. Nope. Yeah.
I would agree. I do feel that it felt very safe in Merida. I never once felt, even walking around alone by myself at night, I never felt unsafe. I didn't feel like anyone was ever stalking me. It's just,
But
but
it's like any place else.
yeah,
You've got to be aware of your surroundings. You've
Yeah.
got to pay attention. You can't do stupid things, because stupid things lead to stupid consequences.
That's exactly right.
And so, it's
Cindy.
just
Mm.
avoid being in the wrong place at the wrong time by any stretch that's possible.
I cannot stress enough how good that lo mein was.
Oh, we will be back there.
If I could just get a big old tub of their lo mein. They got this thing,
Oh my
though.
God, did they fill it up?
They filled it up. They got this thing where you got combo dinners or paquetes, and everything seems to be, you pick an item and you either get rice or the noodles. If I could just get a big thing of the noodles. So good. So Acapulco coastside has been getting hit, Terry. They've been getting hit with these hurricanes and some bad weather and stuff.
Yeah, and the last one hit
Yeah.
BCS.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that was and it got a little bit of from what I understand and reading the news, it got a little bit of Cabo. La Paz didn't get anything. I think Cabo got some rain and some wind, but nothing. They didn't feel the brunt of it. So, so far over here, I mean, we've only got about a week left, and we're out of hurricane season. So,
yeah, there's always the anomaly.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the first beach town Yuns stayed in? I love when you say that.
Yes.
It is in Mexico. Yes. Outside of resorts and things, this would be the first beach town that we've actually stayed in an Airbnb for an extended time.
Yeah, we've been up and down Riviera Maya, but this is the first time we've actually been this close that we're going, wow. I mean, if we walk to the corner and look down, there's the Gulf. I mean,
we can see the water from upstairs.
Yep.
Like we're on, I think essentially
Second row.
second row, basically. But we're not really beach people. So the allure of the ocean itself is not really what brought us here as much as just checking it out.
Yeah, and we have a handful of subscribers who do live here, and I also know we've got a couple who are looking at coming here, and it gets rave reviews. And part of driving around for the last 3 days and walking around and everything else, I can get that. I can see why people are attracted to it because it is a lot slower paced.
Oh yeah, it's slower paced.
Yep.
It's a beach town. It feels like a beach town. Like even in the United States, and you go to the East Coast, for example, it feels like a beach town. You just know. Yeah. So it's got that vibe.
Yeah.
Concrete buildings, not big wooden buildings up on stilts, but it still has the same vibe.
But I bet these stick around when the hurricanes hit.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right. And yeah, I mean, even the I&M office is just a simple rectangular cinder block shoebox.
well, concrete.
Concrete. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's cool though. So, hey, you got that right, Dave. Stay away from drugs and cartel.
Well, and don't piss the wife off. I mean, because domestic homicide and cartel homicide are the two biggest reasons, for homicide in the country of Mexico. So, as long as the two of you are good and you're not doing the stupid stuff, you should be able to live a long time.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. There is so much wrapped up in what you just said.
What?
Oh, goodness. Hello. Hey, Shakira. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hey, got a question. Dave. All right. Did the Mexico Relocation Guide cover how to set up being domiciled in the states like South Dakota and how to handle finance retirement accounts? Or did you find that on that sort of stuff elsewhere? Elsewhere. We found it elsewhere. We ran into, it had to be YouTube videos or possibly even blogs regarding domicile in other states when you are living abroad or traveling the United States.
I think it may have been Q RuPaul.
He may have started it.
Who started us down the thing.
Because it was one of those things, you know what? Yeah. Because he's like, why are there so many South Dakota plates?
Him and Brighton. Brighton was another one who brought it up when he was mentioning driving around La Paz, that he saw a whole bunch of South Dakota plates. And then, and then Q Paul already mentioned that. So it sort of made us go, okay, there's a reason why they have all these South Dakota plates.
Yep.
And then I actually found an article that someone had really gone in depth on, outlining the benefits of going to South Dakota.
Yep.
Especially the tax benefits as far as, no pension tax, no state income tax, no inheritance tax. And if any of you have watched the video that we did, I don't know, 6 months ago or so about South Dakota kicking out nomads, that has been mostly finalized. And what has really happened there is they appeased the people who were the most upset over the situation. And those were people who lived in some of these smaller communities. And what the locals were voting for was not what they were getting, because other people who were able to vote because they had an address there, but they lived someplace else, were acting their vote. And so, I mean, that's one of the things that G and I went, we wouldn't vote for dog catcher in Sioux Falls.
No.
We don't know anything about that.
I mean, like if you live in another state but you don't really live there, then maybe the only thing you should be concerned about is your federal voting rights.
That's,
But some people were skewing the
Yeah.
local votes.
And so what it is now for South Dakota is you have to actually have an address for 30 days on, I think it's going to be for the statewide and down ballot elections. They cannot stop you from the federal elections. That's,
That's all. I did recently get an inquiry from one of our viewers about unemployment tax. And that's one of the things that started this as well. If you are domiciled in South Dakota and you're a contractor, like I am, some people were claiming unemployment for the periods that they weren't working. The problem was they weren't paying into the unemployment tax or the unemployment insurance. So they figured it out.
they did it was determined that there was X number, and it wasn't a huge number, it was just enough that
So to rectify that, you have to, your employer has to have a business license for the state of South Dakota. But it's not so easy to get one. And some businesses are being denied that. If your employer is not able to get a business license in South Dakota, then they cannot collect unemployment insurance on your behalf. What ends up happening is your employer continues to pay you or whatnot, but now they have to put your state income tax as being whatever state the employer's business is registered to. And that may not be South Dakota, and you may find yourself paying one hefty state income tax, which you can get back because you don't live there. But it's
you won't.
a hassle. So,
It's going to come out, and you're not going to get back until the end of the next, end of the year. And then I didn't really live in this state,
There you go. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Any country. You're right, Cindy.
But for the most part, for people like us, it really hadn't changed much of what's happened in South Dakota. Unfortunately, we were able, they did grandfather that law. And so that if you had already been there and been registered and are on the voting rolls, you're good to go. So if voting in all the elections is important, be prepared. You're going to have an address for 30 days.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, that's the thing now.
Yep.
And however you do that, whether you use a friend's address, and a mail forwarding service address cannot count for that. So you either stay in a hotel, stay in an Airbnb, or use some friend's address.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Hey, Ernie.
Sorry, we had to bail. We had to set up. And
Yeah,
that didn't
that
work
was a
out
nightmare.
well.
That was a nightmare.
Yes.
It was lucky number 7, not. So yeah, Dave, I noticed that, it's a patriarchal society, and yes, women do get abused a lot. I noticed in Merida right before we left that they were celebrating domestic violence month, and they had big purple ribbons up.
But and I agree that all that needs to be brought to the attention of everything. But spraying graffiti,
you're gonna go there.
I'm going to go there. Spraying graffiti over all the monuments on Paseo Montejo
And the church
and the church
and the square.
gets you nowhere. You know, I mean, it's not going to change minds. And that's the whole thing. If you want to change people's minds, do it in a way that is positive. Doing things like that only makes you look, you know, small. So now I'll shut up and get off my soapbox. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Each area you live in has their ways to invest here in Chapala, or Intercom or O'Rourke. Both pay 12%, no reporting. 2, it's illegal, but you're responsible to report it. Well, I mean, I guess that's true if we were investing in something that's Mexican, but we're not.
No,
Right.
I mean, right now, all our finances are being
Yeah.
still done north of the border.
Everything's in the US. As long as I'm working, that's how it's going to be.
You know, because we have to have that facade, for lack of a better word, of you know, the South Dakota address, the U.S. bank, the U.S. cell phone number. All of those things have to you know, show up as far as being in the U.S. so that nobody goes, you know, when she's trying to get a contract, goes, "What do you mean you're not in the U.S.?" We think, again, a lot of times they go, "Oh, the work's good. You know, we found out she's down. We don't care." You know, if it's not affecting anything, if for some reason they suddenly maybe want gone, well, now she doesn't really do a good job, then they may use that to go.
I did find out to be a 1099 though. I mean, I did bring it up with one of the contractor companies. They want you to have an EIN, which I don't, and I'd have to apply for that. And then they want you to have some kind of insurance too,
Yep.
like business insurance. I don't know how much that costs. Is it even worth it? So
No, there's places out there, enough of them that'll hire you on W-2s and make it run right through their HR department. So
I'm trying to see, we have a package coming.
of course.
And I'm wondering where it's at right now.
Yeah. All right. And we'll explain why.
Yeah.
The only downside of this particular domicile is the beds are like sleeping on plywood.
Yeah, they're hard.
They're hard.
These beds are hard, and they're thick mattresses. They're hard.
So we ordered a topper, and what we're doing is when we encounter this, and so far we've only had to do this once. We encounter that scenario, it makes.
Oh, no, it doesn't look like it's coming.
Okay.
They decided to update it today. And
deliver it tomorrow.
And it says, "We're sorry for the delay. If you don't receive it by October 31st, you can apply for a refund."
Okay.
Okay.
So we ordered a topper for the bed, and now we just found out we don't know when we're going to get it. So
yeah, when Mark gets on a soapbox, it could be good. I just don't want him to keep going on and on and on until we're all drowning in bubbles. Because he will. He's a very verbose person.
at times.
So tell us about the renewal. Okay. Man, we didn't have to do a thing. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Well,
Not really. We did very little. We showed up.
nombre firma.
Nombre firma. Nombre firma.
I mean, that was,
Yeah.
you know, and then the biometrics, and here's your card, and literally within 2 hours of our arrival.
Yeah.
And the first 30 to 45 minutes of that, we were sitting, waiting.
I don't even think it was 2 hours.
No, it was like an hour and 45 minutes total. I mean,
Hour
we
and
were
a
out
half.
of there. Our appointment was at noon, and we were out of there at 1:45.
That's true.
And like I said, 30 to 45 minutes of that at the beginning was literally just sitting, waiting to get in there. So about an hour.
This is how it went. Because we were in Merida at the time, I was looking for a facilitator who was local to the area and saw lots of good reviews and got a recommendation for Jonathan. He's the go-to guy. He's got a Facebook page, lots of great reviews.
Yes.
And so that's who we hired. And
Affordable.
very affordable. I mean, every bit as reasonable as I thought our facilitator in Querétaro was. He was just as much and offered us a few extra perks.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the great things is everything we sent to him, I literally could send it to him on WhatsApp, pictures from my phone. We didn't have to provide any major documentation of any kind. He did all the paperwork, got us all set up for the appointment. All we did was show up, take his manila folder, and wait to get called.
Yep.
Everything else was done. All we had to do was sign papers while we were in there and get new photos taken.
He also did our RFCs.
Yes, we got RFCs. We didn't get the full digital signature one with the thumb drive because we aren't, buying a car. We aren't opening a checking account.
3 years.
Yeah, so we're just like, yeah, let's just do that. He also got our tip renewal ready to go.
Yep.
And he's working with someone here in Progreso. She came by today to get our signatures, and she's taking it out to the aduana out on the pier. And it usually takes about 3 days for us to go out and pick it up. This is it. Oh, he did our address change
Yes,
too.
he did.
I mean, he did everything. We literally just showed up. That's how easy it was.
Yeah, it was. And I'm going to tell you this. If you watch what we went through in Querétaro, they do not have the same seating. They don't have those tubular steel benches that killed my butt for 6 hours while we waited in Querétaro. These were padded chairs. So it was like, oh, we can deal with this. This is a piece of cake.
Yeah. I mean, while we were in there, he aligned several appointments up on the same day, which makes sense. So he met everybody here on the same day that was doing it in Progreso. But I mean, I'm sorry, there was somebody there who couldn't figure out how to call her bank and ask her bank why they were denying a charge. She was literally asking the facilitator what she should do.
In English.
In English.
And
they won't let the payment go through. What should I do? He's like, call your bank. Tell them what you're doing. What do I say? I mean, this is exactly what she was saying. We were within 5 feet.
Quote, unquote.
And I'm looking at him going, wait, what? Do you know how many times I've had to call the freaking bank because they denied something at a...
I mean, we use Schwab to pay for the fees. And I did it. And you have to do it, one for me, one for her. So it was back to back, identical charges in Mexico. Yeah. And of course, my phone quickly goes,
yeah.
Did you actually do 2 transactions? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. We just wanted to check. I mean,
I shouldn't be.
Yeah, you really should.
I shouldn't be making fun of somebody for.
They'll never be a subscriber now.
Being so needy, but I mean, come on. Your charge didn't go through. What do? Call your bank. I don't know.
Especially when we walked in, I noticed there was a Bon Norte right across the square over there that could have just gone.
I mean, we were in and out so fast. Those people were still there.
They started in front of us, and we were gone before they were complete. Yeah. So
they had to figure out how to call their bank. How's the Spanish coming along? Oh, should I trademark I hang my head in shame.
I don't know. I mean,
He's doing really well.
I did pretty well with the Uber driver when we went to La Trata that night. We had a conversation the whole way up there in Spanish.
Yes,
and I did stumble a few times, but the beautiful thing about living here is if you try, if you screw up, and you're going to, it's going to happen. I mean, she did it the other day when we were having dinner, and she goes, muy bien, and the waiter looked down and goes, no, because you said from the mail.
That was at the resort.
No, that was again. You did it at El Toro.
No, he said Yena.
I think he thought you said, because He said, Yana. But again, I mean, but they will correct you, and they don't do it in any way
No.
in a condescending manner. They are extremely happy that you attempt, and are making the attempt to assimilate by learning the language. And that part, goes a long, long way.
Indeed, indeed. Wait, what? It's an active shooter in Lewiston.
Maine.
I know what that is.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that stinks.
Well, I agree,
Again.
but you can make that statement of how many places.
I know.
Yeah.
So after this 3 years, will you get your permanent automatically? No. You do have to go back in. You do have to apply for the permanent residency, and you got to pay. Yeah.
Now, there's no financials involved or anything like that. And from everything we have heard, it is basically a rubber stamp that if you've been here for 4 years and you're still here, you haven't been deported or done anything stupid yet, pay us and we'll give you your permanent residency card, and then take your damn car and go to the border.
Dave, I'm telling you, this is the second time. This is the seventh place, but it's the second time that we've had really hard beds. And, in El Tejar, even the host, they weren't the hosts, they were the caretakers of the house. They even thought the mattresses were hard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these things are hard. I mean, we might as well be laying on a, I don't know, a woven mat, one of those little canopy type things. They're hard. So we've ordered a mattress pad, a memory foam topper, and we'll just leave it here. Because
I mean, the one in El Tejar, we
it with
donated to the caretakers because when they saw it and they felt it, I mean, Juanita was just like, oh my God. Jose Luis. And I'm like, take it.
Yeah, we left it to them because we can't carry it with us.
The only other thing we didn't leave with them that she really liked was Scrubby. And I was like, no, you can't have our Scrubby.
The Scrubby stays. Yes. Let's see. Do you have to show financial solvency again? We did not.
No.
But I have heard of places that they didn't ask for solvency. They just asked for a couple of months of bank statements just to verify you still had income coming in or something like that. It wasn't a solvency check. It was just an income check. And I'm trying to think where the last place I saw that did that, it might have been Querétaro, maybe. But I don't know if they all do that. But Progreso does not.
No, I mean, she was as pleasant as could be. She, she smiled, had a good time, and it was just like
flirted with him.
So
because he's guapo. My tip expires at the end of the month. Shoot, yeah, you got to go get that renewed. If you don't get that renewed, you're going to probably end up losing your
car.
Oh, you could lose your car if they pull you over. You're most definitely not going to get your deposit back. So you got to get that renewed.
And it's literally, it's only a couple pieces, especially Jenny speaks Spanish. So, I mean, going to the Iguana
and it's free. It's free.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you
anything. So, hey, hola, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us. No hammock. You know what?
There's hooks.
There's hooks in this house.
But if they've got the hammocks, now let me explain this about this house as well. There are a lot of owners' closets that are locked up.
Yeah.
And I get that because the owners of this place are Canadian, and they come down, snowbird it. If you're from Canada, I thoroughly understand wanting to get out of Canada in the winter, and they almost did not let us book this because they were going to come down. There was a 2-day overlap at the end of our stay here and when they wanted to come down. And so there was conflicting dates, and the local rental company that runs it here in Progreso called them and said, we have a potential 2-month renter, but they want to stay until December 23rd. And you guys are coming down on December 21st. Do you want us to have them look someplace else, or do you want to adjust when you're coming down? They went, oh, we'll come down on the 23rd. So
I'm checking something real quick. So, hey, hola Wilfredo. We're doing great. And yes, so that area has been getting hit really hard lately. I was just looking very quickly to see if I saw anything new. Oh, we missed that. Hurricane Otis, Category 5. How did we miss this one?
I don't know.
Oh, lordy. Goodness God.
That's not one where you go, hey,
no.
It's Otis. He loves us.
Do you mind if we dance with your bass?
Why, no. We were just leaving.
How many of you know what movie this is we're talking about? No, but in all seriousness, yeah, Category 5 is pretty darn scary. So I'll look more into that when we get done with the stream here. I hope that everyone is.
Hope Sean and all those people over there are doing
for
well.
For real, that's like boom, 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 just getting hit over and over in that area. Goodness. Welcome to the Emerald Coast. Is that what they call it?
Guess so.
I guess so. We didn't know that. All right, let's see here. How is Day of the Dead in Progreso feeling? Not too obvious.
No, not like Merida.
Not like Merida. Merida started to decorate already before we were leaving, which kind of makes me sad because we're going to miss that. And it's pretty huge there. I learned
it's the Mayan version.
Hanal Pishan. And it's I guess some of the things that are really unique about it is the pib. It's all centered around the food. Their altars have the ofrendas have 3 levels often, and they have a green cross which represents the ceiba tree, which of course is the center of Mayan life. You know, the ceiba tree. So there's all that, and they have specific things that go on specific tiers, but a lot of it's about the food, and we're going to miss it. And the thing that's really kind of bumming me out is that Airbnb that we just left, that entire parade is going to march right past that Airbnb on that street on its way to the cemetery. We could have stood on that roof and watched the whole thing, but we didn't know.
But we are dropping a video tomorrow that covers some of that, along with the Cementerio General. There, it was just, I don't know, 10, 15 blocks from our Airbnb. And it's a huge cemetery. And without giving it away, it's unique.
Hey, Cindy. Have a good night. So we did this video on the cemetery because I'm a freak like that, and I like to walk the cemeteries. And I was really getting like into things. We found things. We found things that we don't normally find in cemeteries in the United States. It was fascinating, and at the same time, I totally understand why it's done, the way they do it, and it's somewhat bittersweet to see some of these really huge monuments that are no longer being cared for anymore, and they are crumbling. It's you'll find beautifully well-maintained crypts, and
right next
to one that's just the slab is broken and everything's fallen down and into the dirt and the hole, and
you can see it all tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean it.
Yeah, and then we kind of tied that in a little bit with the Day of the Dead, because that's where they're going to march to. They're going to march into that cemetery, and that's where they're going to have a big ceremony, and that kicks off the entire Feria de Animas.
Yep.
So, yep. And you knew it was Animal House. That's right.
I would know.
Do you mind if we dance with your dates? Do you think you will eventually buy a home in Mexico, or do you plan to stick with renting? Well, timeline-wise, probably what's going to end up happening is first we're going to pick the city,
Mhm.
and we're probably going to rent, which means we're probably going to rent for a minimum of 6 months,
Probably a year.
probably a year.
Mhm.
And
And the reason being is we're spending time in each one of these cities, 1, 2, 3 months to get a feel for it. Well, when we finally determined that, all right, this is where the anchor's getting dropped, now we're gonna have to spend the time learning what barrios and what neighborhoods and things like that that we want to live in, and then start to do the process of, okay, this is the type of, can we afford it? Is it, is it something that's going to be over the top? Or, okay, yeah, this fits our price range, fits what we're looking for, and we can still afford to make these modifications if we choose to do that. So spending a year in the city will give us not better idea as to where
what
we want to be.
barrio do we want to be in?
Unless it's Querétaro, then we know it's Calesa. I mean,
Really like Calesa.
yeah, Calesa and Querétaro.
That was our favorite.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to end up renting when we finally get permanent.
But ultimately, yes, buying is what we're going to end up doing.
Indeed. Yes. What's nice about Progreso,
Yes.
and Turbine. Yes. They're all very close. We actually do have to go to the 2 CH beaches, Is it Chelem and Jaberna? Well,
Well, they're not far away.
I don't know how to say it, but they're not far from here. So yeah, we want to visit those two. 30, 40 minutes, probably closer to 40 for us right now, but it's going to be the matter of finding parking and things like that. And I don't know. I mean, I guess we just park on 66 somewhere.
Yeah, we had to find a place by the hearing aid place, and we had to find a place by the house.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be there that long, so I mean, if we block the driveway, I'm not worried about it. All we want to do is run in there, grab our stuff, and back to the beach.
All right, let's see. How do expats treat other new expats? I heard some ignore newcomers when they should help out. Okay, so I've heard two things. There are some expats that are very welcoming. They'll put up some Facebook groups, or they'll have local events that they advertise, inviting new expats in to meet the community, to get acclimated. Walking tour. Our very first week in Querétaro, we did a walking tour with a group from Facebook to learn about the monuments and the parks and stuff in Centro. And then there's also in that area, I want to say they meet up in Hurquilla.
Yes.
Was that weekly group? There was a weekly group or something. There's also groups that meet in San Miguel, things like that. So to me, those are helpful expats. I've also heard of those on the other end of the spectrum. These are the ones, I want to say Lakeside has some of them, where they don't like the influx of people changing the dynamics of a community that they've lived in for a while. Congestion and traffic and things like that or whatnot. And so they will say bad things about the place, or talk down to those who are promoting it.
Yeah,
because they don't want people coming.
How the expats are treating other. And,
well, I mean,
and to be honest,
and that is.
I know, and to be honest, our experiences, we have not run into anybody who has been negative in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
I mean, whether it has been the numerous subscribers who are coming down here, or the numerous subscribers who live here.
Right.
We have met both, and we met some subscribers who are of Mexican descent, and we've met some who are down here as expats or immigrants, and that every one of them has been gracious, outgoing, and has made it an absolute joy. So
and we haven't met anybody who hasn't treated us really, really well, whether they're nationals or other expats. But we have heard that there are some expats who don't want more expats coming.
But that's
but we haven't experienced it.
We've heard.
We've only heard.
Personal experiences.
Right.
you know,
Yeah. So,
and to be honest, probably the more welcoming though are still the Mexicans.
yeah.
I mean, that's just, you know, I mean, it goes.
Fredo, I'm already getting bloated. All I do is sit on my butt all day long. It's so bad. My feet are swelling up. My feet swelled up so bad the other night. They actually started to hurt. I haven't seen feet that puffy since I was pregnant. No, that would be impossible.
Yeah, I just said there's 2 doctors we want to talk to if that happens.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bloated is it. He's losing the weight and I'm finding it. It's totally
No, I'm actually
Robbie!
I'm actually going
Mwah!
the other way.
Mwah!
So,
Speaking of people who treat us like family.
oh, Romy and Lee's were the first 2 to really sort of go, welcome to Mexico.
I just realized that that's you on
That's
point.
Romy. Yeah.
That's Romy on point. So cool. Look at you. I want to see you dance one day. I'm going to go check out your YouTube channel. Helen has a group in Querétaro that meets on Tuesday to chat and walk. Yes, I think it was Helen that took us on the tour. Our first week in Querétaro, we went on a tour in Centro of all the statues and monuments. And it was only supposed to be like maybe 2 hours. It lasted all morning.
Oh God, we went to lunch
We ended up
together.
going to lunch because we got hungry.
Speaking of Romy and Lee's, they did that as well.
They were there as well. I think it was Helen. I think so. There was a Walkers. It was called Querétaro Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the group got disbanded. Querétaro Walkers. I think it was shut down or something because I went back one day to find something and it wasn't there anymore. It's her last name's Burton, right? Is it Helen Burton? I think it is. Yes, you're very welcome. Honestly, like I said, we've heard, but we have never experienced it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
and one of the great things, I mean, and to borrow from Ernie Baca, Sir Dragon X,
yes.
from Retired Life in Mexico, No Bull. We are a community down here, and we are a family. Yeah. And all of us are here to help one another. And the overwhelming majority of those people are doing just that. You know, every once in a while you'll get somebody who is a naysayer, but
Yes, we miss you too, Romy.
yep.
We have to make some time to come visit, even if it's just for a little bit. I don't know how. We'll figure it out. We can stop for a day or two on one of our drives. I'm not talking about. Anyway,
Yeah.
We want to see people. We miss people. We're making friends everywhere we go.
Oh my God, if we went to Querétaro,
It'd be a big old party. We'd have Cesar, we'd have Annie, Bette, Marlene, and Ruby, and Lise, and Juanjo. Yes.
Yeah,
oh man, we could have a hoedown. Oh, they are the punches, so nice. And Mama says hi to you, Mark.
well, that's because I said hi to Mama today.
Oh,
In my response, because Mama's important.
that's right.
I mean,
just wanted to let you know, Expat T talks great about you too. Yay! That's very nice to hear. Thank you. Very cool. Yes, we like this house a lot. It's actually very nice.
it's actually very big.
It's enormous. It's huge. We didn't know it was as big as it was because you can't tell from the pictures.
No.
Yeah. Mine's bigger.
No shit.
Oh God. Hi, nature lover. Thank you for joining us
The
tonight.
day that we finally hook up with Tom on the West Coast, that's going to be a yeah.
Mm. And hello, Elsa. Thank you for joining. Yes, Romy, that is a promise. Well, we'll have to do some kind of party or something. We'll come for a weekend or
Well,
something.
I thought Liz was trying to
I
convince her.
thought you guys were coming to see us. Yeah, to who? Bring mama. I feel some expats in Puerto Vallarta that do put bad vibes in groups just to discourage more from coming. Terry, I've heard this. Yes, I've heard a lot of it in the Lake Geneva area. It's what I've heard. And I've seen the other YouTubers that promote Lake Geneva have said that they were told to stop promoting it. So, I mean, I think it does happen. And I will say, in all of the time that we've been here, never once in any city that we stayed in did we ever get
Oops, I'm sorry.
a gringo go home type thing. But we were walking back to the house in Merida, and there was a piece of property on a corner that had just newly installed windows.
And we had even talked about this in our last live, and they had broken some of the windows out.
Yeah.
And then in a subsequent walk by the same piece of property, because the first time we walked by, we were on the opposite side of the street. And the second time we walked by it, we were on the same side of the street. And yes, somebody had actually written in Spanish, gringos go home.
Yeah, you cost me too much money, gringo, go home. And that's the only time in almost a year that we've been here, that is the only time we've actually witnessed or seen that kind of sentiment.
And I get what you're saying, Terry, because there are some down here who do have that belief that the prices of everything are going up, and it is because of the influx of expats who are coming to Mexico. Got news for you. Mexico's economy is about to grow into becoming one of the top 10 in the entire world.
Yeah.
The price of things is going to go up regardless of whether it is due to expats or any other reason, or any other nationality that's coming down here, just because the fact the country is starting to boom.
Yeah.
And part of that is because of the nearshoring and putting on manufacturing close to the U.S. It's allowing them to do it in a less expensive manner. And, it's good for Mexico in some respects. In other respects, it's going to be difficult for Mexico because some of the ways of doing business with the U.S. are going to suffer. I mean, the days of getting a 35-cent avocado are gone, because that's just, they can't get it to the border at that price anymore. And they're going to have to pay the people more to harvest them, to ship them, and everything else. And so, it's a country that is rapidly on the rise. And that's, that people want to jump in and go, I remember when, buying a house now, best time to buy. We got to wait.
Yeah, we have to wait.
So
maybe it's some of these expats just don't want the additional people coming because they're concerned also about the rising costs, or maybe they're concerned about the overcrowding, or maybe they're concerned about
changing the culture. I mean,
changing. Maybe they thought this was the best kept secret, like that secret fishing hole, and then the secret's out. I get it, but we haven't experienced it yet. And for those people who want to downplay how great it is to live here, I'm sorry. I'm never going to say that it's awful. It's not awful. It has its differences.
You'd be lying then.
Yeah, I mean, there are differences. There are some things that I know. I have friends who are like, they think it is a horrible third world thing to have to stick your nasty toilet paper into a bag next to the toilet. Really?
If that's the worst thing.
That's the worst thing.
Worry about.
Honestly.
You know what that actually does, though? It makes you empty that trash can a whole lot more often than you empty the bathroom one at home.
That's right.
Yes. You're going to get that thing gone.
All right.
He say sorry.
See, we will go. Yes. All right. Interlude. Playing with the monkeys. Spider monkeys, to be exact.
In the Quixotes.
Yes. I had her number and lost it when I switched phones. She frequent Alex, backpacking brunette. I remember Alex. I haven't had a
I
chance.
think she's talking about, I think Wilfredo's talking about Helen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
I'm trying to remember who might have had that. I don't know.
what?
Might have had Helen's number. I'm trying to remember who. I know we found it on Facebook, but
Did we?
I thought so.
I never called Helen.
No. I didn't say you had the phone number.
Okay.
But I think somebody we knew did.
Oh, what am I drinking? The only cider that I can find, Strongbow.
Yeah, you're not finding.
I like cider. I don't like beer, and I haven't found any brand other than Strongbow. So I drink the Strongbow cider.
No, that's not true.
Really?
Yes, because when we were in Querétaro, you found Angry Orchard.
Did I?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't.
And
remember
it's really interesting that in the Querétaro and San Miguel area, there's a lot of things that we were able to find that were from the U.S. Green beans, the hot dog chili, Mountain Dew.
Had an HEB, which is a U.S. based store.
But no. The chili we found at Walmart. We found it at Chidrui. I found Mountain Dew at Chidrui. Found the Snyder's of New Hanover at the Chidrui, over by the Paseo Querétaro. But what's interesting is we could find it there, but here where there's more of an expat community, here, Merida and that area, nope. And the to be honest, the longer that we have gone without, the less I think we have missed.
I found some cheesy cheddar popcorn that was almost as good as Snyder's of Berlin, so I was okay with that.
Well, I still haven't found the pretzels that are the same. That just
okay. So after 4 years in Mexico, we always ask the complainers that more people want to be here is, you didn't lock the gate? That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah. Whose fault is it? I've been here longer than you have. You should have locked that gate.
Yeah. Let's see here. Does Mexico have a homegrown version of the not in my backyard stuff that prevents homes from being built?
There's definitely the not in my backyard. We saw that
Yeah.
in San Miguel.
Yeah.
Where the government had to come in and create a barrio for the Mexican nationals.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't afford it. I mean,
in a favent, I can't think of what it is, but it's government. I don't want to say government subsidized, but it's government control.
I mean, you had to be a Mexican national, a citizen,
to be able to buy.
So it's
like
this barrio.
It's their way of keeping basically the non-nationals from buying up the property.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stop a business owner though who wants to build Airbnbs and rent them out.
No, but I will say this though: if you go to San Miguel, that is a great street. Colonia. Is it Centenal?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, if you know it, say it. So
it starts with an M, but I can't remember how to say it right now.
No, I'm talking about the actual street. I know that's the neighborhood, but the street I think is Colonial Centenal.
Oh, I don't remember.
Or Calle Centenal. That little run is a great street to go up and down with conocieras, helado, the pollo. I mean, it's
flour.
It's a great place to go.
There was an upholstery shop.
Yes, well, and veterinarians and opticians and dentistas.
But let me think about this. Not in my backyard. Trying to think of what else that could be. Like, I kind of feel like a lot of at least the larger cities with the older buildings, they just take these houses that have basically been abandoned or have fallen into disrepair, and they buy them and they fix them up and turn them into businesses. So I don't really know if there's any kind of zoning that prevents that from happening. You could be living next to a bar. You could be living next to a restaurant. You could be living next to, I don't know, somebody's little tienda. And it used to be a house, and you'll see that a lot. But new construction, they probably have, let's think about this for a minute. Tulum would be a great example. Tulum, even 7 years ago, the first time I ever saw Tulum was a much smaller, less hectic place than it is today. And they're building that Mayan train, and the Mayan train is going to run an airport all the way down to Tulum. So all of that beachfront, condominium, hotel, resort, and beach club building that goes on from Cancun to Puerto Morelos to Puerto Aventuras to, I mean, all the way down to Tulum. It has only gone further and further and further south. And we already saw, turn it off, thank you. We already saw that they have, they're selling property south of Tulum. They were selling property south of Tulum 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So they already have intention of building hotels.
It's gonna go all the way to Chetumal.
It's going to keep going. And so the question, not in my backyard. I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing as really stopping development. I would think if you got money
and be really quite honest, the Mexican people are so welcoming.
Yeah.
If you give love, you get it back tenfold.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't think it's so much not my backyard. I think that's probably more in line with the immigrants and the expats of not my backyard than it is with the Mexican nationals.
One of our subscribers that we befriended in Merida, she asked a friend why there would be a situation that we were seeing. Our host had recently painted the Airbnb where we were staying.
Yeah.
And it happens to be a small bus stop, local bus stop, plus a colectivo stop. And people were writing into this new paint down to the old paint, scraping all this new paint.
And passed down to the concrete.
Yeah. And they were destroying it. It's not our property. And they were like scribbling in it, and it was making me kind of mad to look at this, that people are just standing there.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, I was mad.
Yeah.
You know, why would you destroy someone else's property? So our friend, she asks her friend about it, and she said it's a perfect storm. It's one, it's a bus stop. Two, it's an Airbnb. And three, there's people in there that are upset about gentrification and things like that. Now, I don't want to get on my soapbox. Gentrification is a whole lot more than just rich expats moving in and buying stuff up. It's also business, and it's economy that's expanding. It's a lot of things that cause this. And
still the majority of the owners of Airbnbs here in Mexico are Mexican.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
So just because a bunch of expats are coming in and renting out Airbnbs doesn't mean that it's expats that own them.
And probably, to be honest, if we owned that property, that Airbnb, that probably would reduce the amount of that, because the people that were around there were so welcoming of us.
Oh yeah, they were nice. People were really nice to us. So
it really does go back to, oh yeah, well, these are Airbnb. So it's more of the Airbnb backlash than it is.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know any other situation though where there would be a not in my backyard kind of thing,
Nope.
because everywhere we've been, things just exist. I don't really know much about the development. I guess one could say the Mayan train is a not in my backyard type of thing.
Yeah, there was some pushback on
definitely pushback on
but
that.
I got a feeling that in 15 years, everybody's gonna be going, wow, look at the money that we now are making, because it's going to bring a ton
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It is.
it's going to make life difficult for some people. The transfer drivers and some of the taxi drivers and things like that. You know, the $65 that they used to be able to get to take you, because that's people would just pay it.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's
I really don't know how the cartel's going to handle the whole Mayan train. Are they involved with it? Don't even know,
don't even care.
because in Cancun they had that issue with Didi and Uber drivers
Yep.
versus the taxis, and the taxis are very much aligned with cartel, and there was a lot of violence going on back and forth between the Uber drivers and the taxi drivers.
And recently, I mean,
Yeah.
they almost they not almost they went on strike and basically blocked everything. And
Yeah, I mean,
people were having to get police escorts to get to the airport to catch their flights. And
yeah, I mean, so one has to wonder if a huge part of your potential income is now supplemented by Mayan train. What does that involve?
I don't know. We're gonna find out when we get to ride the Mayan
I
train.
guess we're gonna ride the Mayan train. What kind of cigars are you smoking, Mark?
Well, right now it's one of two. We had some subscribers came down and spent a week, and they were nice enough that I was able to make a shipment to them, and so they could bring some to me. And those were Odyssey Abano Churchills that I get from the famous smoke shop in Easton, PA. They run me a little over $2 a stick. Or I am smoking the Black Chazaro Natural Coronas, and they run me $60, or not $60, 60 pesos a stick. And that's before shipping, because we have my two angels in Querétaro, Anivet and Arlene, that arranged to get me my shipments, and then they ship it to us. And so I have to pay for freight on that, but that's my cigars of choice down here.
And Tom, I think you're right. There's always going to be immigrants and expats.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily always going to be Canadian and United States citizens. There's a lot of, one of the things I started doing about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, or longer, I started translating our YouTube videos into multiple languages, and I started to think about what kind of reach could we get if only this was in a language people understood, if they didn't speak English. I know that in Merida, there's a Korean population for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Querétaro, there are many populations from around the world.
A lot of Korean, because you have both Kia and Hyundai.
Chinese, Japanese. There's Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about, what are all the languages in India? And I started looking all that up. And anyway, I translate our videos, and YouTube makes it somewhat easy, but it still takes some time. 50 languages. Now, 50 sounds like a lot, but then there's like 7 or 8 versions of Chinese, and there's like 6 versions of Spanish, and there's 3 or 4 versions of French, and there's like 3 versions of German. I mean, so it really isn't 50 languages. It's probably closer to 25 or 30.
And just this week, we actually got our very first reply, or comment
in Russian. In Russian, yes, and I do translate in Russian as well. So, it's not always going to be.
God bless Google Translate.
It's not always going to be just people coming in from North America, and it isn't now.
No.
So there will always be, and then of course you've got all the people that are migrating up. People from Nicaragua and Venezuela. Yeah,
they want to get the hell out of that country. No,
so
really?
Those people are coming up. So there's always going to be immigrants that come to Mexico. I think it's true in just about every country around the world. There's always going to be some immigrants, and they will come and stay, and then they realize they made a mistake, and some of those people will leave. So I agree. It's a balance.
And then there's those of us who go, best damn move we ever made.
I know. I don't know if Strongow's from Scotland. Is it?
I think it originally is.
Is it?
I think it originally is. I think it's now a U.S.
It was in Spanish, so I'll have to figure it out.
Well, go ahead and
later.
spit on it. That helps you read
Let me
better. That's it.
Let me paste that. I've only had one.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to change.
You have a new HEB? Ooh, is it a big one? I do like HEB. I have to admit.
Well, it's the only place in all of Mexico so far that I have seen a spiral cut ham, and I would damn near kill
For a spiral
for a
cut
spiral
ham.
cut ham.
Oh, you're funny. You're so funny.
Th-
Oh,
Or even a small version of a spiral cut ham.
Ricky. Gracias, mi amigo.
Oh, gracias.
Yeah.
You know, and the beautiful thing is, we hear that all the time.
We do.
I mean,
We make friends everywhere we go.
yesterday we stopped for lunch
Yeah.
at a little pollo stand on our way to the mercado.
So
Oh, it was, you know, and she's over there because there was a lady sitting there, and she goes, you know, where'd you get your case? And she said in Spanish.
Yeah, she wanted to know where I got my phone case.
And
So
Gina's looking at me because I can always tell when she doesn't understand it. She looks at me like, and that's a, would you help me understand this? So I went, yeah, and she goes, oh, see, Samsung 23. I went, no, case.
Mhm.
Oh, Amazon, Samsung, you know,
Samsung, yeah.
and it was like, okay. And again, you know, we had a great conversation with them, and
We did.
and they made us very welcome.
You know, that's what's going to make it partially really difficult to pick a place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We literally make friends everywhere we go. And yeah, it's going to make it hard. It's hard.
The people, the people are gonna actually have to be excluded
I know. Anyway,
because there's no way that you can make that determination, because we have yet to have a place where people,
so yes, he does at times look like Sean Connery, that bastard.
the bastard. I'll take Scottish rights for 200. Alex.
You watched those? Have you watched those?
No, I just made that up.
Oh my gosh. All right, sorry, he doesn't know. Saturday Night Live does skits, Jeopardy skits. And Sean Connery is the dirty-minded bastard who
Well,
is
no shit.
always making fun of Alex Trebek and his mother.
I don't know
You
what
gotta
Alex.
watch these. No, they're so funny.
I don't know what Alex is doing with his mother, but that's
It's not that. It's what Sean did with his mother.
oh, Miss Money Penny.
Yeah. My dad was from Easton, PA. All right.
Yeah, that's right. You know, anytime we find out somebody's coming down here, you know,
Mhm.
family, friends,
Yep.
or one of us goes back to the States, I place an order and it gets shipped, and we bring back the 25.
You guys are 100% right that the Mayan train will change a lot of things. Oh, yes. Look at the metro in Mexico City. Take it from the airport to downtown for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna, I mean, first of all, it's gonna extend the whole Riviera Maya all the way to Chetumal, because, you know, when people are gonna be able to fly into Tulum,
Mhm.
whereas, you know, if you wanted to go south of Tulum and you had to fly into Cancun, you're looking at a 3-hour drive. You aren't going to get that many people to make that drive. And so,
Is it 3 hours?
oh my God, it was a little over 2 to get to Tulum. And so, if,
Oh, yeah.
you know, but now being able to A, fly into Tulum, and B, take the train, you're going to be able to get to places further south a whole lot simpler, and even south of PDC. If you go into Acamel or Puerto Aventuras, you're going to be able to fly into Tulum. Now, if you're taking my word for it and you go, oh, when are they going to start flying into Tulum? You're going to get damn sticker shock. Because I did a look,
Oh, yeah.
because we have some friends for the upcoming music festival next
April.
April. And so I was just doing a quick comparison on prices to get to Tulum versus getting to Cancun. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'll fly to Cancun because it was almost
know.
double right now.
It's a lot right now.
But the other part of this is they have not yet finalized all the flights. And so right now, there's only a handful of US flights that are flying into Tulum. Delta's coming in out of Atlanta, and there's a few others. And so they're able to manipulate the price for people who are willing to jump on it early.
Right.
Once American and United and everybody else starts putting in multiple flights a day, that price is going to come down, and they're going to be able to go, oh, you know what? If they're flying there, it opens up room in Cancun. We win-win. So
yeah, that's dynamic pricing for you.
it is.
Oh, it's so good to see you too, Romy, at least in words. We miss you guys.
Yes, we do.
We do. Oh, let's see. I had the same experience, nothing but welcoming people. It's all about respecting the nationals. 100%, Jenny, 100%. They're happy to have the extra business. Everyone in my neighborhood town has been incredible. Yep. It's true.
Again, if you give the love, it comes back to you and comes back with smiles, everything else. I mean, the people across the street, this little Six store in Merida, you know, I walked in there the first time and sort of okay, I need this, By the time I left, everybody that worked there knew me, was joking with me, and everything
It's
else.
like
And
I say hello to everyone I meet as I'm walking past them on the street. Just about.
Yep. The easiest thing to give in life is a smile, and it's the warmest thing you can give.
So Strongbow is from the UK since 1960. Heineken is the manufacturer.
That's why you can get here in Mexico.
Okay, because Heineken's huge here.
Heineken, oh God, we see Heineken trucks everywhere.
Oh, most definitely Sean Connery. Yes, I'm from PA. And Mark, you are from?
No, I'm south of the Mason-Dixon.
And I'm like, Mark, you are from?
North Carolina.
No.
What do you mean, no? Yeah.
Where were you born?
Oh, I was born in Virginia, but I lived most of my life.
He was born on a base, right?
Yeah, born in Quantico, Virginia.
Yeah, his dad was a Marine, so they traveled, and then his dad was a salesman,
and we still travel.
And they traveled a lot.
But most of my life is spent in the great state of North Carolina.
There you go.
Go Heels. even though we stepped all over it.
Yeah, Greensburg. That's right.
Home of what is it? Night of the Living Dead.
No. That's Pittsburgh.
Well, I thought what was the one they filmed at the mall there?
Monroeville.
Oh, that was Monroeville.
And that was Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. Okay.
Got to know your George Romero.
All right, WDVE, in the Whippeal, which she didn't know what Whippeal was.
I did not, because we always said WPIAL. You call it out by letters, WPIAL, and we call it single A, double A, triple A, quad A.
5A and 6A.
Well, we didn't know. Yeah. We didn't have spike.
And the guys on the radio call it Whippeal.
All I know is when I lived in Jeanette, Pennsylvania, the Jeanette Jayhawks were a double A school, and they beat the heck out of Hempfield, and Hempfield
was 4A.
Was quad A. I don't know how we ended up playing now. I didn't think you played.
No, you guys used to be good.
Yeah, Jeanette used to be good.
Used to be. That's the key word.
Yeah, well, Jeanette used to be a city too.
Well, now it's like it's a town.
Until all the glass factories shut down.
Yes.
Sure. Hey, Lise.
Hola, Lise.
Hola, Lise. How are you? With my friends. Yes, we can't wait to see you guys again. Oh my goodness. It's been too long.
See.
So I'm going to say, let's see. We found out there's a meteorite museum here.
Mm-hmm. Right on the Malecon.
It is pretty pricey if you are not a Mexican national, which of course is intentional because they want the people on the cruise ships to come into this meteorite museum. It's like $25 a person, and it's not that big of a deal. So that's kind of pricey for what it is. And then, of course, there is the Mexican national price. But if you are from Progreso, it's
Normally they
free.
yeah, normally they do it for Yucatan Peninsula or Yucatan State residents. Like Chichen Itza was 91 pesos.
Oh gosh, we got to tell you guys this because we really didn't say anything. Chichen Itza is one of the most expensive archaeological sites in the Yucatan. Okay, and that's because the Yucatan has their own fees.
Mm-hmm.
The national fee is like 90 pesos for all the archaeological sites, but
Well,
Yucatan adds on their fee, and it's huge. So by the time you roll in there as a tourist, you're paying like 500 and some pesos, almost 600 pesos to get into see Chichen Itza. Well,
unless you're an old Mexican.
right here, we have resident cards. We have found out in the Yucatan that they will honor. Yes, Dave, out there in Lake Chapala, we found out this is cool. It's actually a thing. In the Yucatan, they will honor your residency card as a Mexican resident and give you basically half off. So, or if you're an old man like him,
they yanked me out of line and went, no, you go over here. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Show them your ID. They looked at it and went, oh, you old fart. Here's your free ticket to go to Chichen Itza.
He literally got in for free. The old man got in for free.
No Yucatan fees, no INH fees, no nothing.
And in Inapam, he doesn't have an Inapam card. He didn't need one. Now, that's probably not true everywhere you go.
No,
obviously, sometimes they ask for that card in different places, but at Chichen Itza, all he had to do was show his ID and he got in for free.
All you have to do is be an old Mexican.
So that was kind of fun.
With a Scottish accent.
You bastard.
You bastards, let me in for free.
Mason Dixon line is in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and West Virginia. Mm-hmm.
Well, and Virginia, because the Mason-Dixon line is where they ended up creating.
Oh wait, there was no West Virginia yet.
That is correct.
That's right. It was
West
just
Virginia. Was created by.
That's right. Oh, let's see. I would have went to Hempfield, but moved to Arizona. I did actually go to West Hempfield Junior High for most of 1 year. That was a crazy year. My parents were doing wacky things, and I literally went to 3 different schools that year. Went to Jeanette, West Hempfield, and then Obuck in Antlers, Oklahoma. So
born in Babylona, moved to Arizona, King Tut. I'm sorry.
When he was a young man,
he
never thought he'd see people stand in line. Girl, you got that stuck in my head now.
I'm sorry.
Oh, King Tut, married to a monkey. He's my favorite monkey.
I just saw the movie Arizona.
Gosh, that's so funny. Let's see here. Incredible. I do know how to spell. Oh, we knew. I knew what it was. You know what? It just rearranged the letters. Totally knew what you were saying there, Jenny. Hey, Mark and Paulette. It's all right. You know what? What you don't realize is that we had
what we went through.
We tried to call it lucky number 7, and it was anything but. We had a whole 30 minutes of anything that could fail. So we had to cancel, shut it down, and restart a brand new live stream. You didn't miss a thing. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Do you guys have Mazatlan on your schedule? Yes, we do. Lisa and I are tossing up Maz and PV for our retirement home within a year. And we do have both of those places on our schedule, but those are West Coast, so they're going to be closer to the end of our stay. So since we just renewed our residency for another 3 years, that means probably about 3 years from now. And 2.5.
Mazatlan?
And Puerto Vallarta.
About 2 years, two and a
Okay.
half years, yes.
Yes, they are both on our schedule. Uh-oh.
I need a smoke.
He needs a smoke. Really? He can go to a movie and watch a movie with me for 2 hours at a movie theater and not smoke, but he needs to smoke for this. Oh, goodness. That's true. And he's on beer 5. I'm still on Strongbow number 1. Oh, my. So we have to go back to Merida tomorrow to pick up his repaired hearing aid. And got to go back to the house that we rented and see if my well, I know they are because no one else is in the house right now. I left my magnets on the fridge and I think I left a hat there. I'm not even going to worry about the tomato plants. I'm sure they're dead. That was a quick smoke. Smoking in the boys' room.
Smoking in the pool room.
I have some pictures that I need to post for you and Paulette, or Mark and Paulette. Maybe it's you and Mark. Anyway, I have a couple pictures to post for you because this house has sun and moon
Oh, yes.
decor on the walls, and they're really cool.
Yeah.
They're not the unified sun and moon, but they're still really pretty stunning. So I think you'll appreciate that. One of them's really pretty. They're both blue.
Yes.
And I like it a lot. They're on a powder blue wall and they are darker blue tones. Let's see. We ate at a place right down the street called El Toro. Now, the irony of El Toro is they have no beef. I don't know why you would put a bull on the front and have no beef, but I wasn't there for the beef. I had shrimp.
I had a beef. I had a beef because they had no beef.
Oh, yeah. Ha ha. Har har. And yeah, so I had shrimp. Now the cool thing about this place was, you know how when you order, they bring out all the salsas and the chips and everything else, and they stick it all in front of you, right? This place brought out shrimp. So here's the guy who doesn't eat seafood, and I just ordered shrimp. I don't even know what type of shrimp I got.
Empanada.
Yeah, but I think that's all it was. She said,
Yeah.
I didn't get like tacos or anything. Of course, they serve it all with tortillas anyway, if you want them like that. But so I had shrimp upon shrimp. It was really good. And
I had good pollo. I mean,
I just think it's funny that it's called El Toro and there's no beef.
I felt like that little old lady in the damn Wendy's commercial. Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? How is your Airbnb? I love shrimp tacos that you showed in your video and Mark's yummy burger. They look incredible. That hamburger was so big.
It was too big.
It was enormous.
It was a sloppy eat. It was good, but it was just,
So should I have stuck the chapulines on top of my shrimp tacos?
So how is the Airbnb? This place is phenomenal. I mean, first of all, I have to give this place credit. It has the most comfortable furniture other than the beds.
Other than the bed, yeah, the furniture here is great.
That we have encountered yet. I mean, rocker gliders.
Every chair in the place, except for these dining room chairs and the patio chairs out there. Every other chair in this place is a rocker glider type chair.
One or the other, or some of them are
They're
both.
like both. And they're just really comfortable to sit in. There is if you've seen the picture, there's like a computer hutch with raised platforms, which is working out perfectly as my work area. The only downside is the internet here is so freaking bad. Oh my god!
Well, there's a couple areas.
It's bad.
The hard beds, the bad internet, and the really chintzy silverware.
The silverware is pretty chintzy, but you know what? It's Airbnb.
It's Airbnb. I mean,
they probably have the good silverware in the owner's closet. Okay, the hot water has been a problem for him. It's got an on-demand hot water heater, the gas type that as soon as you turn on the water and the water starts flowing, it fires it up and rapid heats it.
Boosh.
We had one of those in Querétaro. I love them.
Oh,
they work
absolutely.
really well. So I've taken 2 showers since we got here Saturday. I know that's awful, right? But I've had 2 showers.
Once every other day.
And both times I had no problem getting hot water. In fact, it was so hot today, I had to turn down the water temperature a little bit in the shower because it was just too hot. He tries to take showers, he gets no hot water. And he lets it run and run and run, which you have to do.
They even make a comment in the package, it takes a while for there to be hot water into the shower head, so let it run. Well,
Not for him.
I trimmed the beard, laid out my clothes, let me explain this. I turned the shower on, trimmed my beard, laid my clothes out, brushed my teeth, all waiting for the hot water. Then went and was like, well, still not hot. Grabbed the dirty clothes, put them together so we could take them to the lavanderia. Still no hot water. She gets in there and goes, I had to turn it down.
He's decided now that when I go to take a shower, he's just going to jump in right after
Leave the
me.
damn thing running and put my
Yes.
butt right in there afterwards.
Yes. Let's see. Smoking. Oh, here we go. Smoking in the
There we
boys'
go.
room. We did that one already. I'm so sorry. I'm jumping around.
No, that one.
Oh, what is your perspective on women traveling solo in Mexico? Well, I think that if you traveled wisely, if you were driving, you just do like we always recommend: drive during the day, stay under the speed limit, and only go on the toll roads if possible.
Stay in traffic with other people.
Yeah, that part's fine.
And avoid certain areas. I mean, there's certain roads, doesn't matter if we're a couple, you're a single male or you're a single female, there's certain roads you just don't need to be on, period.
I have gone to a couple of different websites. I'll look up crime statistics and things like that to see what cities are having issues. And, as long as it seems like the crime statistics are better than where I came from, I'm fine with going to that place. And in Mexico, there's a lot of cities that are better in crime statistics than even Asheville, North Carolina.
Mhm.
A little touristy town in the mountains had worse crime than some of the places we've gone to in Mexico.
No. Almost all.
Well,
the
true.
towns that we have gone were better than Asheville.
Aside from that, I felt comfortable walking by myself in San Miguel. I felt comfortable in Merida. I would have been comfortable in Querétaro. I'm comfortable here in Progreso.
And to be honest, you'd have been comfortable in San Luis Potosí, in
that neighborhood, yeah.
in Tequisquiapan neighborhood,
The thing I find troubling, and you don't always know, there's always going to be a neighborhood, a barrio, in certain cities that is always the one people avoid. And we don't really know where those places are.
That's the hardest part is I mean, Sir Dragon X on Retired Life Mexico brought this up, and it's, you want to avoid those neighborhoods. Well, in the US, we have a better idea of what those neighborhoods are because we've all grown up there, and we have a picture
right
of what that neighborhood is. Here, let's use San Luis Potosí as an example. We have very nice Airbnb, and if we'd have looked at those streets that we walked down in the US, it would have been a firm hell no. No.
It's just,
we are not walking down this street, no way, shape, or form. But we didn't even hesitate. We walked down them and everything else. But the question becomes, how do we know what is the right neighborhood and what is the wrong neighborhood? And we may have gotten lucky.
yeah.
And I think there's only been once in almost a year where I went, no, we're not going that way. And that was in Mineral de Pozos.
Oh, that's right. That's
And,
right.
and it was just was, I happened to look down the street and it just sort of looking at people hanging around and everything else. And it was probably me being oversensitive, but I just was sort of like,
Well,
no,
don't put yourself in that position.
we're going
So-
back down this way.
Let's say that you're not driving, the driving aside, let's say that you are traveling by bus. Again, I think that as long as you're doing your traveling during the day
Hmm.
and you know exactly where you need to go, an Airbnb, a rental, something like that, and it's during the day, and you're surrounded by people in general, I think you're fine. And I think that as long as you don't display wealth, jewelry, having your phone out, things like that, and you keep everything close to you, you're probably less likely to experience the more petty crime. And I think petty crime is more
Hmm.
what's happening. As long as you aren't hanging out in cartel lands, which is probably not going to happen, really. I don't know. I wouldn't go. If it were me, I wouldn't be hanging out on some of those stretches of highway or in some of those cartel cities. There are certain cities that are cartel driven
Hmm.
that are very safe because that's where the cartel's family lives.
Well, it used to be Quintana Road. Quintana Road used to be.
It used to be.
That used to be. Everybody was hands off because that was where all the cartel family went to vacation,
Yeah.
and so they had this thing. And then suddenly, what changed all that was the cartel got into the prostitution because prostitution here in Mexico is legal. And so, what's the best way of getting people to the prostitution? Taxi drivers. And so the taxi industry in Cancun and in PDC suddenly got into the back pocket of, or in the cartel pocket, and they were, somebody comes out of a bar, had too much to drink, things like that. That's where they go. That doesn't help the single woman.
As a single woman, I think my ultimate answer would be if you feel confident and if you are, well, I'd like to say, he chose wisely. If you are choosing wisely, you keep your possessions, your more expensive possessions. Don't be flashy. Don't show them off. You get to where you want to be without looking like you're lost. Don't look like a tourist and don't look like you're lost. Have purpose, get to where you want to be and get there. And you'll get there safely in groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
If there's lots of people around, that's even better. I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable doing that. And I feel like as long as you are confident and you're thinking clearly about your surroundings and you're paying attention to what's going on around you, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Pre-plan. There is,
Pre-plan,
I mean,
yeah.
that is the one thing that the two of us do. And she sort of
Right.
leaves that one to me. But when we go from location to location, there is a plan. And that plan is written in stone that we are going to leave at this hour, and it's going to be daylight, but it's going to be early if it's a 7-hour drive. So that we're in the town at an early enough hour that we're able to find our hotel and everything.
And use your residency cards for healthcare. It's half the price. Woo! All right. And I might have to do that because I got a floater in my eye. It's the first time it's ever happened. And it's driving me crazy. I don't like it.
Red
Were your parents hippies?
I'm glad that went next to me.
Were your parents hippies? Well, I really wouldn't call my dad a hippie per se.
Not what I call it.
Yeah, I know. My dad, well, let's see. There was lots of marijuana smoked around the house and in the car when I was in the back seat. And my dad was supposedly going to go to Woodstock Festival and it didn't happen, but he bought himself a super cool suede fringed vest, which I actually do still have. My mother only wishes she was a hippie. My mother wasn't cool enough to be a hippie. Love my mom dearly, but my mom was never cool. And my dad could have been cool, but my dad was kind of a jerk. So, were they hippies?
Forget the word kinda.
Were they hippies? Yeah, nah, probably not. Probably more moderately in the middle somewhere. Definitely were working class people in general as they got older. I think that I think in my youth, it's kind of funny you should bring that up. I remember going to the library when I was like a tween, and I would pick up these books at the library on how to decorate your home or your bedroom, and it would have all these pictures of some hippie chick doing flowered pillows and things. And I used to think of myself when I was a tween as kind of hippie-like, but I outgrew that. Now I'm just
In some respects.
I-
There's other respects she is totally hippie. Just
it
you know,
depends. I could be a hippie chick when I need to
oh
be.
yeah.
I could be a hippie chick, but I'm more of artistic. I'm like bohemian is more like it. Artistic bohemian, kind of. Not so much hippie chick. I skipped the show and went to the first Earth Day. Redbone
Skip
played.
school.
Yes, skip school. Redbone. Hey, hey, what's the matter with your hand? I have Redbone. I think they only had three. I have all three of their albums, or at least their first three. But yeah, Allen
The only
Ginsberg.
one's worth having.
Yeah, you know.
You know who Allen Ginsberg is, right?
I do.
Okay.
We will definitely have to get you two over for dinner. All right. Whichever one we choose. That's right. Looking forward to it. How's your Airbnb? Hey, wait, we already did this
Yeah, you
one.
did that
How
one.
did I skip this?
I don't know.
What just happened? I don't know how that happened. It must have posted twice. Okay. A question for all residents watching. Are you guys also experiencing that nobody wants to see your residency card for ID, just passport?
I've not encountered that.
I have not encountered that yet either. They have asked us for our residency cards. I guess it maybe just depends.
Because I can tell you this, if they ask me for my passport, I'm gonna have to make a return visit. Because I carry my residency card with me because it's right there with my driver's license.
Yeah,
But I mean,
we've
I'm not gonna
heard.
carry my passport with me everywhere because I haven't been asked for it in a year. So it's
I
sort
mean,
of
you're
like,
supposed to have it on you at all times, but
well, I look at it this way, for a temporary resident, why do we need,
I do not know.
Yeah.
Hi, William. Thank you for joining us tonight. You bought land in Merida. Very, very nice. I'm going to guess you bought land in north of Merida, correct? In one of those, maybe those communities in the north?
oh, if you bought land, you could buy it east, west, north,
Well,
south.
you could, but there's a lot of development going on
Yeah.
north. Oh, and Lee says no chapulines. Oh,
No.
no, huh? And
They have not put enough mezcal on this planet.
no, we have not been to Puerto Escondido, but we will be.
Yes.
That's on our agenda.
Matter of fact, that is the next Airbnb we have to book.
It is true. And let me just tell you right now, Huatulco is expensive. Puerto Escondido is a little better.
Yeah.
So Tom, you got stopped in Puerto Vallarta by the police for a gringo shakedown. Yo sé mis derechos.
You showed them your what? I misread that. Okay.
I know my rights, and here's my residency card. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, you know the advantage of that is,
Buenas noches, Romy.
oh, adios, Romy. The better your Spanish is, the less
Yeah.
apt you are to be taken advantage of.
Hey, Paw Paw.
Hey, Pop Pop.
Thanks for coming up there tonight. Let's see here. All right, so good to know how you felt safe walking around by yourself. I'm a seasoned traveler. I understand that the plan is a priority. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome, Sharon. Yeah, I think that Mexico gets a really bad rap for the crime and everything. And yes, there is a disparaging amount of crime against women. However, I feel that crime is very typically against nationals
Yes,
a lot of the time.
because they know not to say anything.
Right. And they don't, I don't feel unsafe here. And I think that you would be just fine, especially if you're seasoned. You know what you're doing. You know what's up for sure. Gina getting stoned in the backseat of her parents' car. Hey, you hippie, did you get a haircut yet? No, Gina didn't actually get stoned, but I will tell you this, and this is, I don't understand it. It must be a hybrid growing thing. I remember my dad and his buddies in the front seat of the car smoking a joint on numerous occasions, and never once did it ever smell like skunk.
Burning leaves.
It smelled like burning leaves. Like you had yard debris that you were burning in your backyard. That's what it smelled like. Now you can smell that skunk smell and it hasn't even been lit up and you can smell it. It is so skunky right now. I don't get it. It's, yeah, even the vape, the edibles, all of it smells like skunk. I don't get it. I don't know what that is, but whatever that is, it's not what my dad was smoking. Oh, you're fine, Tom. You're fine. So, having a bottle of Spanish red wine, why not? But only once in Guadalajara did I say, no, I am not going down that street. Otherwise, totally safe. And that's Guadalajara. See? And there you go.
Again, it's being aware
Yep.
of where you're at and not doing the stupid things.
See, Wilfredo, yes, you've seen the videos of me walking around. No issues, you know, it was fine.
I would rather have been there, but
Well, he wasn't feeling good that night.
you know,
Oh,
I can tell you this.
Yes, I do. I do. I can tell you all about the difference between indica and sativa.
And there's only one side of this relationship here that you can ask those questions of.
It's true.
Because,
But I do try to obey the law.
oh, yeah, I'm not saying.
But when I am allowed, Colorado, do a lot. Colorado.
One of us has the same key that we came out of the womb with. There,
I do too.
no.
Yes.
You've had chemical additives that have been put into yours.
They only last in your body for about 30 days.
Okay, let me put it this way. The entire 62 and a half years I have been on this planet, my pee has been the same. So, yeah, I'm just saying. I have never had to wait to take a drug test. Ever.
Well, I have been not working now for
Almost a month.
almost a month. It has been glorious. It has allowed me to clean up house, organize files, try to do shorts, things like that. Try to get ahead of schedule so that we're not scrambling at the last minute to release something. But I have started to do interviews again for a new contract, which I expected that was going to happen. They were probably going to ramp things up for November and December.
Because that seems to be the case for last year.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will be looking for a job again.
And just to throw this out there, anybody who's interested, we will be at Excellence Riviera Cancun, December 23rd through January the 2nd. There are still rooms available. We don't make anything off of this. You're booked directly with the hotel site.
We're going to be dancing to some EDM music on New Year's Eve. Boots and pants, and boots and pants, and boots and pants, and boots and pants.
Oh, God. Throw some disco in there. I hate disco, but I'll take disco over EDM.
Let's see. So Yes, Debbie, cannabis is legal in Mexico, but there's a hook, there's a little twist in that.
Uh-huh.
You're not allowed to buy it or sell it. I guess you could barter.
Or you can grow your own.
Well, but you got to have seeds to grow your own.
Well,
You cannot buy it. You cannot sell it. But you can have, I think it's up to 5 plants. And if you're married, they let you have 2 extra. And other than that, I don't know how people get it from each other. I guess.
And I got to say this.
Oh.
Any type of major gathering in the U.S., you get that skunky smell.
Skunk.
I have not smelt it. And we've been in some crowds.
I've smelt it.
You have?
A couple times. When your dad smoked, there was only green and brown, and he had to remove the seeds.
Well, that's why God created the double album cover.
And seeds.
I mean, I never smoked, but I've seen enough. I grew up in the 70s. I mean, and they take their driver's license and then up and down the double album cover, and all the seeds would roll down into the crease, and they just,
Yep. I take out my residency card, and they look at me like, "What's this?" They ask for my passport, maybe because there aren't many foreigners where I am. Whoa, Jenny, where are you? I'm curious. Where are you?
On you, girl.
That makes me think of a Monty Python. Is it? I'm being oppressed. I'm being oppressed.
Yeah, you like Monty Python.
I do.
I know you do.
I just love the lives you two do. I can catch myself laughing out loud. You know what? Sometimes, though, if you don't laugh, you will cry. It happens.
There are times that it's interesting, to be honest. It has gotten so much easier and better. I mean, we're now down here for 11 months. And at about the 3 to 4 month period, it was still good. But there was a little bit of all right, I got to have a conversation with the man in the mirror, because I either have to totally buy it 100% in, or this is stupid. And when you really look around it, you go, yeah.
I don't remember this conversation.
Well, it's because you weren't in the mirror. I said, have a conversation with the man in the mirror.
So you weren't buying in yet? You kept this secret from me?
I had to have the reaffirmation. And that was sort of the impetus for I didn't expect this video. Oh, you didn't put all that together. I thought that was sort of self-explanatory. But you feel a sense of isolation and everything like that. And what you have to basically figure out is go, okay, it's either sink or swim. And so, which one you want to do? You a fish, cut bait, pick one. And so,
Fish, cut bait. That's a new one. I like it. I just have wonderful friends. Can't ask better than that. And you remember Stems and Seeds. See, how can you not? And it never smelled like skunk.
No, smell like the neighbors were burning the bad stuff.
I know. We smell it almost every night here in Northwest Indiana. Yes. I got off the airplane in Colorado, and I could smell it. We were walking through Boulder to get lunch, and you could smell it. It was everywhere. And of course, just about every concert I go to, no matter where I am, it doesn't matter if it was in Charlotte, it doesn't matter if it was in New York or in, what was the last place I went? Philly.
Red Rocks.
It doesn't matter.
Well, Red Rocks
it's
is
in even the vaping. You smell it in the vaping.
All right. I'm going to jump on my soapbox here for a second.
No.
Just a short one.
Just a short one. Oh.
Why is it that people feel they have the right to smoke pot at a concert and they would raise holy hell if I were to light up a cigar?
Dun, dun,
All
dun,
I'm gonna say.
Acapulco Gold. Yes. Yes. I actually tried to smoke one toke this summer with my great nephew and his friends at the Jersey Shore. Almost coughed up a lung. Never again. Only cerveza. Mm.
Guess I need another cerveza.
What does that remind me of? I can't think right now. It reminds me of a Steely Dan song. I'll think about it in a minute here.
Yeah, Acapulco.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Yeah,
Just stick with the cervezas.
yeah.
Well, I mean, like you just stick with one or the other. If you do both, you're going to get the spins, and nobody wants the spins. It just leads to, yeah, bad stuff. Like one time I went to go see My Morning Jacket. They did a 4-night run at the Beacon Theater in New York, and I was only there for 2 nights. So I think it was the last 2 nights. And I didn't know that the bars in New York were open till 4 a.m. And of course, I'm with a bunch of friends, and we're all going out and we're drinking. And I'm a lightweight anyway. And I've already had like edibles, right? And now I'm drinking too. And of course, I got the spins. And then, of course, I got sick. And then the next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on the streets of Manhattan. And I am face over a can, one of those big wire cans that they got on the street, being sick. And the next thing you know, I hear, whoop, whoop, whoop. The police are rolling up and they're asking my friend if I'm okay. And she's like, yeah, we're just going back to our room and she's a little sick. Yeah, so don't ever mix those.
Okay, never will.
My old school. There
Yeah,
you go.
there it is.
Guadalajara won't do now. That's right. I'm like, what am I thinking of here? I'm thinking of Steely Dan. Okay.
He's on. Matt's on the same level we are because he got
Yeah.
he got the.
He's got it. He
Well,
got it going on.
He instantly was on Animal House, and now it's
Yeah. I've always been a very polite smoker down through the years and through the changes, regardless of what I'm smoking. Right on, Debbie.
Hey, I'm the same. Whenever I sit at a blackjack table, I ask anybody at the table first if they mind if I light up a cigar. And if somebody does, I don't. And when they finally leave,
Look,
okay. And I've had it occur where I've had somebody sit at the table where I've had a cigar lit, and they go, "Do you mind putting that out?" And I go, "Yes, because your ass sat here after I've already been down here. You saw I was smoking it before you got here, so you can leave." And I've had dealers go, "Thank you for handling that."
Nice.
And my ultimate one was in Vegas, Fremont Street, the Fremont Street Experience, and the Guess Who was playing. And a good friend of mine, a customer from Canada, who I will not name because he's breaking laws by doing this, every year at the PMA convention would walk by our booth and he'd drop a little brown paper bag on the back table of our booth. And in it would be 5 or 6 Cuban cigars. And so guess who's playing? And I have one of the best Cubans I have ever lit in my life. And I have got a 32-ounce beer. The guess who's playing, and I'm sitting here in heaven. And some woman behind me goes, "Would you mind putting that cigar out?" Yes, I would. End of discussion.
Oh my goodness. All right. Had a Doobie Brothers concert in Houston, Texas with my dad. It was a habit he brought back from Vietnam.
A lot of people did.
Yeah. I can't wait to meet Sean in Paradise, because he and I will partake.
The Doobie Brothers. I have to tell this story. 1977. So the Doobie Brothers and REO Speedwagon.
Ooh,
Oh, it was a hell of a concert.
with that, I'm getting a snack.
And they turned the house lights on because the Doobie Brothers played first. And so they come out, and this was the last 5 or 6 concerts that Tom Johnston was doing before he had to bail from the band because of the ulcer situation. And they turned the house lights on and set up for REO Speedwagon. And Charlotte Coliseum, which is the small version of the small Charlotte Coliseum now. I think they call it Bojangles.
Yes, it's Bojangles now.
And great acoustics in this place. One of the best places to see a concert in all of the Southeast. You could not see from one side of the arena to the other. Now, part of that was because of what was legal to smoke, because you were allowed to smoke inside. And the other half was because of what was illegal, because it was the Doobie Brothers. So, great concert, by the way.
I just read Mark's comment. Wait, Deacon Blues. Oh, Deacon Blues.
Moses
Huh?
Moses loved to do Deacon Blues.
Oh, don't throw Moses out of left field. What's he got to do with Mexico right now?
No, Deacon Blues. It was one of his favorite karaoke
Oh,
songs.
Deacon Blues. Okay. Let's see.
We call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues.
And all the places I smelled marijuana, I was the common denominator. Let me tell you, when I was in Colorado and I went to the first dispensary that I'd ever been in, and I love they call themselves bud tenders, by the way. Just gotta love it. They were very professional, and they wanted to know what I was looking for.
And they have to close the place between out-of-state people and in-state
So I'm an
people.
out-of-state person. I have a different price that I pay, right? And so he's asking me what I'm looking for. And so he's breaking it down for me. So my education, honestly, came from the bud tender out there in Denver. And he kept asking me if I wanted flour. Man, we didn't call it flour when I was a kid. My dad didn't call it flour. Flour? This stuff was already ground up and in bags. That's why he's sorting stems and seeds. I'd never even seen flour before. So I was just fascinated that you could actually just buy a whole bud. I thought that was funny. And no, I didn't want flour. I have to go places and I don't want to smell like marijuana. So no, I was just like, don't you have any edibles? And of course he rolled out the edibles, and anything under the sun was on this rack. Energy drinks, gummy bears, bubble gum, brownie treats, Rice Krispie treats. I mean, it was just on and on and on. Lollipops, it was just insane. Insane. Cookies, I don't know, but I didn't want to smell like that. So no flour. Sorry. Deacon Blues is about football, actually. It is? I know it says to call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues. I have to think about that. I have to look at the lyrics, Matt. Oh, and REO was my first concert in 1982. That's right. That's right. That album you hated.
Oh, High Infidelity? I didn't hate the album. I had to introduce her to the REO Speedwagon that was without Kevin Cronin. And she went, oh my God, what a different sound.
It was a different sound. Yeah.
And, because that was just Gary Richrath.
There you go. All the good cigar places.
Wow. There are a lot of things that we've sort of gone, but then in the past 10 days, I've been invited to a cigar lounge and everything else. And it's been like, oh, hell yes, we're going to Hey
there. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. And what you got? Bee Gees, my first concert in 77. That is awesome. Is that the main course concert?
Yes, that would be
Wow.
main course. Just talking and
Yeah.
Fanny Be Tender and
Yeah. And some of this
And then-
and a few of the songs that ended up on Saturday Night Fever.
and then
Yeah.
Nights on Broadway. Oh,
Oh my God. That's another
then-
Saturday Night Live skit. If you haven't seen, oh my gosh, it's the Barry Gibb talk show. That you gotta see that skit. But they
all
do
right.
the
I will now throw out the most embarrassing
I knew you were gonna go there.
first concert. 1973. And I got to go hear Tie a Yellow Ribbon. Oh, baby. Oh. Anyway,
Chip.
yeah, I got to go hear Tie a Yellow Ribbon around the old oak tree.
It's been
Long years, do you still love me?
Oh gosh. My,
And Candida.
I can't listen to that song because what I think of is yeast.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
It's, you know,
My
and then knock 3 times. You know,
and twice on the
pipe.
pipe. My very first concert. Okay, so even if my parents were semi-potential half-ass hippies, which that's stretching it, they never had money to take me to a concert, and they didn't go to concerts. So my very first concert was one that I paid for my first year in college. So as a freshman, I sat out all night and got in line and got tickets for the Outfield. That was my first concert. Josie's on a vacation.
Of course, I also got to go see the Eagles on the Hotel California tour for $12.50.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And now it's still $12.50, but that $12.50 has no decimal point, and you're in the back row.
Look
No.
at that. Free. George Strait in 85, free. That's fun.
And I bet he had a crease in his jeans.
Of course he did.
And
Of course he did. He's a well-dressed man.
yes, he was. And the man could sing.
Beat this. Oh, Alice Cooper. Honey, you win.
Oh,
That's pretty sweet. Are you done? He's belching now. How many beers?
I don't know. I'm not counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
One of those years.
7. One of those is mine.
Yeah.
6. Okay. All right. Believe it or not, was a kid that saw Eric Clapton, Derek and the Dominoes. Oh, wow. I was a juvenile delinquent of sorts. Were you crawling out the window
You know,
tonight?
the worst part about that is if you saw Derek and the Dominoes, but there wasn't Dwayne,
Yeah.
because Dwayne didn't tour and with them because he was doing the Allman Brothers, and that's and my biggest regret, my biggest regret concert wise was I actually turned down going to see Zeppelin in '79.
It would have been cool to be able to say that you were there.
I know, I get, it's not a, yes, they were the greatest in
But
live
Jimmy
concert.
Page was a little sloppy by that
I
time.
understand that, but the one that I still regret to this day is I had tickets in November of '77 to see Skinner.
Oh, yeah.
And we all know that just a few days ago was the anniversary, of the plane crash, and that just, and growing up in the South.
All about the Skinner.
Yeah.
Skinner inners. King of country.
Damn Skippy,
Yeah. Radio.
as Garth says, his 2 biggest things it influences Chris Ledoux and George Strait.
Old George Strait. Okay. Tony Orlando and Dawn. That was him.
Yeah,
That's not so bad.
it could have been worse, but you got to remember, I was living in Greenwood, Mississippi. And there were still, and you want to talk about an interesting time in life. This was 1973 in Greenwood, Mississippi. Now, a lot of people don't realize Greenwood, Mississippi is the home of James Earl Ray.
That guy.
That guy. And it was a town that was about 50-50 racially, made up. And there were shrines to James Earl Ray at this time. And it was a really,
Okay. Moving on.
yeah.
All right, there you go. Shane, that's
That's
right,
Shane.
alibi. I told him all about it. He's like, oh, hell yeah.
Damn.
Leather furniture.
I don't know if you're familiar with JR Cigars in the US. And JR Cigars, I actually took her there. And some of the best memories I have of my dad late in life was we would stop at JR Cigars in Burlington, North Carolina. And they had this phenomenal humidor. Their humidor was about the size of the downstairs of this house. And the aroma of that tobacco. And they had leather chairs and couches in there that were so smooth, it was like a baby's butt. And they would let you just sit in there and light up a cigar. And he and I would drive to the beach with 10 of our friends, and we'd play golf. And we'd stop in there, and we'd always have a cigar. And, I'd get the, arm goes around the neck, pulls me in, goes, love you, bud. Give me the kiss on the head.
From Dad.
That's,
Oh, first concert 73, Steve Miller supporting the Joker album. Ooh.
He gets Steve Miller and I get Tony Orlando. I think he won.
That's a good album.
Yes, it is.
Well, Steve Miller.
And the amazing thing is that Steve Miller actually has made the comment that almost all of his hits were written in a 9-month period after he opened for Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney gave him some tips about songwriting, and he got this inspiration all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
And
in fact, I wish I could tell you which 2 songs it is right now, but he actually took the words from one song and switched it with another song. He left the melodies
and you switched the lyrics.
So it's kind of interesting. I got to think about what 2 songs that was, but it was cool to hear that. First concert was country, Barbara Mandrell and Ray Stevens. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That was good.
Eye Candy and the Streak.
Don't look at the
Too late.
Boogity, boogity. 1979. All right. Oh, loving the duets. Don't misunderstand me.
Well, that one.
I realize it ain't easy to take, but you've been hiding, and I've been riding like the wind to find you. That was one of our karaoke songs. So, let's see. Saw him again in 2016. Awesome, Brenda. Awesome. All right. Debbie Harry called me an angel. Mark said she had small teeth.
She did. She had itty bitty little teeth.
How do you know?
Because I've seen her in videos. She got those itty bitty little teeth.
Okay.
She aged very well, though. I did see her 5-6 years ago on a video, and it was like, all right, Debbie.
There you go.
But she's oh man, I would have wanted.
Yeah. because they didn't have a babysitter. That is the absolute best version of hooked on a feeling. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
The best. That's the best.
'Cause I'm
Better
hooked on a
than, yeah, better than Blue
feeling.
Sweet anytime. Sorry to say.
Hardly believing.
Best concerts were the World Series of Rock with 80,000 attendees in the 70s and 80s. Any band that was anyone was there. Wow.
The Old Mistake by the Lake.
Okay. That sounds fun. But we're on this concert thing now. This is cool. This is cool. Outfield in Berlin, Belinda Carlisle, and ABC in Modern English in Branson, and it canceled. Aw. You know, and now one of the guys has passed away too. So from the outfield.
Well, that happens to all of them. I mean,
No, I'm just, but that'll never come. Sometimes they do these shows
I
like
know.
80s revival, 90s revival shows.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have to tell you folks, we got really lucky. We actually put together a bucket list,
Mhm.
and we called it the Dead Tour.
The Deadpool tour.
Deadpool tour. And
Yeah.
so one year we decided that we were just going to splurge and do a bunch of concerts. And we got Greg Allman not far before he died. And actually we got to see him twice because he also,
What the heck?
I don't know, he also
What is
played
going on?
with Tedeschi Trucks because they did Whipping Post with Tedeschi, or is it One Way Out?
I don't
I can't
remember
remember which way it
anymore.
was. But then we got to see him. We got to see Frampton before he decided to stop touring. Got to see Clapton that year before he quit touring. We were also supposed to see Boston that year, but
We're not gonna go
we
into
ain't gonna
that.
go into that.
It didn't happen.
Who else? We saw Steve Miller.
I lost count.
Yeah, it was a
honestly.
boat.
A
Santana.
lot of concerts.
Yeah, a lot of
I
concerts.
lost count.
And then, a couple years later, we decided we were going to, all right, let's do the new updated tour or list. We did the updated list, and damn, don't you know that 4 weeks after we put the new list in, because neither one of us had seen Tom Petty,
Mm-hmm.
it was like,
We missed Tom Petty. It didn't happen. That's a shame.
yeah,
And for me, Prince.
yeah.
Because Prince had come to Charlotte and I skipped and I said, I'll see him another time.
I did that with Elvis.
Yeah. Jackson 5 and 73, San Juan, Puerto Rico, with a little guy named Michael. Aww.
Did Michael enjoy the show? Oh, Michael was on the show. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Oh. Shake it, baby. Oh God.
Should I do One Bad Apple? Oh, that's the other little
That's
guy.
the Osmonds.
That was the other little guy. Yeah.
It's the Osmonds. And I was in an elevator in Providence, Rhode Island with Billy Joel. Oh, that had to be interesting. And Norfolk with Richard Carpenter. Why are my brushes with greatness always in elevators? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Have I ever been in an elevator with anyone famous? Just Phil Collins' bodyguard.
Well, I rode on the airplane next to T-Boz.
You did.
Um,
I took a while you were out office note from Arnold Palmer.
yeah, see?
I didn't even know it was Arnold Palmer.
I got drunk with Jimmy Buffett.
That's easy to do.
That was. And met Loverboy.
Oh yeah.
Loverboy and oh God, what's the name of their opening band in New Orleans during the Super Bowl, along with half the offensive line for the Chicago Bears and for the '85 Super Bowl team, and they demolished New England. And they were all out drinking.
Do I get to brag now?
Go right ahead.
I've met half the people from the band Genesis, including actually being friends with one of the original guitarists. And I have met.
Well, I met him too.
Well, yeah, but this is me now.
Well, just saying, I got to tag along.
The Wilson sisters and part of the band from Heart. We both met Joe Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
Met, let me think, all the guys from Collective Soul. Kiefer Sutherland in the most unusual way.
No, you melted there.
I met him. I still met him.
Yeah, but you melted.
I melted. That's the only time I went fangirl on somebody. I totally just froze up with Kiefer Sutherland for some reason.
Jim James.
Well, everybody in my morning jacket.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you met him in Times
I'm
Square.
Jim James in Manhattan at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, just walking around. I know I'm missing some people.
Oh, I am too.
Oh, Howard Jones, twice. Lucius.
Kukujaja, or Kajagugu. The
Nick Beggs.
see,
the
I
bass
knew, no
player.
matter how I screwed up, we would get there.
Nick Beggs actually put his instrument on me and showed me how to play it.
Excuse me, should we have a talk?
It's the Chapman stick.
Oh,
The
okay.
Chapman stick.
That's what he calls it.
Yes. And
His Chapman stick.
he showed me how to play it.
I'm sure he did.
He had clothes on. He often does not. So have I forgotten? I think I forgot somebody. Who knows?
I'm not even going to count
We've
sports people.
met a lot of
I've
people.
met.
So Debbie Harry back in the day.
Oh,
Well, yeah, she was a model. Yeah. She's very pretty. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Do, re, mi, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me. It's a good song.
and at the same time,
Amanda Plummer in an elevator.
at the same time that was out, Machine Head was out.
Hey,
Guess which one I was listening
you were
to?
listening to
I'm
both.
just
I was
saying.
listening to both of them.
I know.
Medical money. Going sorry.
Oh,
Content tonight. First concert was the Guess Who. Boom.
and you got to see him with Burton. That's
Best
the
concert.
version I saw them with was not Burton. They had a kid up there who was basically replacing both Burton and Randy, and you closed your eyes, could not tell the difference.
Yeah.
Especially after a couple 32 ounce beers.
Best concerts. Oh goodness.
Ooh,
I almost have to say,
you have to break that down. Visual or auditory, because that's two different things. Visual for me is hands down easy.
one of my best concerts was front row center for the last Tears for Fears tour for their last album. That was a really good one. I paid dearly for it, but it was a good
visual. 1978 Earth, Wind and Fire. The
Doug Henning.
The stage choreography was done by Doug Henning, the magician, and it was just mind blowing. I mean,
That's cool.
and the music was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but visual was like, whoa.
High-fived BTO coming off the stage. That is awesome.
Yes, and the hard part to believe is that there's only two of those guys left that are alive.
Yeah, miss most of you. You didn't really miss a lot. We've just been sitting here talking about nothing important.
It's been music night.
It turned into music night. Basically, we got our residency extended for 3 years. The I&M office in here in Progreso is a very simple little cement shoebox building, and everything was done for us by our facilitator. All we had to do was show up and sign a bunch of papers, and we were out the door with our new cards. Easy peasy. And we're living in a beach town, and it's got beach vibes, and everything's really calm and laid back, and that's it. that was the big topic of discussion, except that everything blew up the first 30 minutes. We couldn't get the sound working, so I had to cancel the live stream, do a new live stream, and so here we are. Also got to talk to James Taylor on an overnight flight to Berlin. Ooh, talked about skiing because he didn't think he wanted to talk about music. Yeah.
My dad did that. He actually sat next to Michael Jordan and they talked golf.
Yeah.
The entire, which is Totally, Michael.
I mean, they probably think it's refreshing. And like whenever I did meet Jim James from My Morning Jacket in Manhattan, the funny thing was is what he and I talked about was he's waiting for an Uber. He knew what type of car it was. He asked me if I knew if that was a car or an SUV. I mean, that's what we talked about. We didn't talk about his music or anything else. It was kind of cool. Just ordinary junk. Manny wins. Yeah.
Well, what did Manny win with?
The up here. This is what Manny wins.
Oh,
First
yeah.
concert. Yeah.
And all right, I gotta say this: if we're going to talk about the Guess Who, the band should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, so we're done with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now.
No.
Because we're going to keep on going if we don't stop now.
Jimmy Buffett should also have been in there before he died. Anyway.
Say the other one now.
Oh, Three Dog Night.
Okay.
And Jim Croce.
Okay. Whose version of Voodoo Child do you like the best, Jimmy or Stevie Ray Vaughan? Ongoing disagreement with Lisa. And okay, I am very much a Jimi Hendrix person. I do like Stevie Ray. And Stevie Ray did more than a couple of Jimi Hendrix songs. And he did wonderful jobs.
And he did it. He held very true.
But I really like Jimi Hendrix. In fact, my favorite Jimi Hendrix song is Little Wing. And Stevie Ray does an awesome Little Wing. But I'm a Jimmy person. And what are you?
On that particular song?
Yeah.
Stevie Ray.
He's a Stevie Ray. I know he would be. He's more of a bluesy guy. So.
Well, they're both blues.
Yeah, but they do sound, they sound different.
I like, okay, I am a ZZ Top fan. I love the Texas style blues.
Yeah.
And that was Stevie Ray.
Hola, Peggy.
Hola, Peggy.
Thanks for joining us. Coming from Cabo San Lucas. Very cool. Eventually, we will be there as well.
Yes, we will.
Let's see. And we come through Progreso all the time. The I&M officials know us and are very accommodating. They have limited hours, but we cross at 10 a.m., so it's always empty.
They were empty with the exception of Jonathan's, the go-to guys, 3 sets of clients.
Yep.
I mean, and I get that. He's in Merida and he's coming up here. And so he scheduled all 3 of us at the same time. They were efficient. It was primo.
Hi. Yes, we did use a facilitator.
Uh-huh.
And the reason we used a facilitator is because we really had multiple things that we had to do. So we needed to get our tip extended. We needed to get our address changed. We needed to extend our 3-year residency.
RFC.
And we needed our RFC. And I was just like, I was working every day, didn't have time during the week to go do anything, not in Merida, not anywhere else.
Nope.
Weekends only. And it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm contacting a facilitator because I knew they would organize everything and get everything set up for us. And that's exactly what he did.
Well, and the other advantage is, let's be for real, you don't want to screw this up. I mean, this is what they're paid to do, is they handle this all the time. And folks, if ever there was an instance that would say, yes, use a facilitator, it was this one, because he made it so simple. I mean, it was like done. So
Lisa said you would like Jimmy. Yeah, I'm a Jimmy person. And you're with Mark. All right. Hey.
They're both good.
They're
I mean,
both
trust
good.
me. Trust me. I have Jimmy in my playlist. I have Jimmy in my album selection and everything else. Love me some Stevie Ray as well,
Yeah.
It's my pride and joy.
Yeah. In my pride and joy. What an awesome walk down memory lane. The Rock Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. The Mistake by the Lake.
That's what they called the stadium. I mean,
yes, I've sat in the dog pound.
Uh-oh. That sounds like a Brownie versus a Steelers fan here.
Ruh-roh. Gotcha. I need to do all the above in May. Yeah, I just, you know what?
It's money well spent.
I mean,
took the hassle out of it. And there was none of this, do I have everything I need? Am I gonna need this? Am I gonna need that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was boom, here's the money. And he was like, I need this.
Yep.
We showed up. He said, sign here, sign here, sign here. When you get in there, she is going to tell you to sign here, put your name here, sign here, put your name here,
Yeah.
sign. And that's literally
That's all we did.
until
all
it
we
was
did.
time to go, oh, sit for a picture.
I mean, he did all the paperwork. He
Yeah.
organized the appointment. He took care of the address change. He has an associate who came by today to get signatures for the tip extension, because that's going to be all done here in Progreso. So what we didn't know at the time, when I contacted this guy, we didn't know you have to wait until you're within 30 days of expiration to do anything.
Right.
And we were not really going to be able to do it in Merida. So we were going to be in Progreso. We knew there was an office here, and it was as easy could be. So
And my ass appreciated, because we weren't sitting on tubular steel benches like we were in Querétaro.
Yes, we did renew, Tom.
Yes.
We are officially here another 3 years. You guys are stuck with us.
Actually, 37 months.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
got it a month early. So
we got it a little month early. So
Yep.
yeah, 37 more months. You're stuck with all of our shenanigans and our crap and our bad singing.
and we're gonna have to just keep on touring Mexico.
Yes. We have 4 temporary residencies and add 2 RFCs.
I tell you what, if we want to compare prices, and this is the only way we can compare it is what we had to pay.
Yeah.
It was a whole lot cheaper here
Yeah.
than it was there. And when I say here in Progreso, Merida area versus Querétaro.
We spent
And part of that is because Querétaro deals with a lot of business clientele going through there because
okay,
of
let me say, he doesn't mean the I&M office.
No.
Facilitator.
Facilitators.
Yeah.
Yes. But they deal with a lot of business.
Yeah.
Customers. They come through the Querétaro area because of the international business there. Here, it was significantly lower priced. And service-wise, I cannot knock either one.
No, they were both
they were
great.
both great. But-
I mean, at the time that we did the one in Querétaro, it was still worth every dime.
Mm-hmm.
Querétaro was having issues at the time with people getting appointments.
Yep.
Our facilitator stood in line all night long.
And the show,
Twice.
well, yeah, because this gives you an idea of how it changes. They stood there in line, and then they were told, no, we need the original passport, which was not the case the day before.
They had changed the rules.
They changed it overnight. And so they actually had to get back in line at 10 o'clock the next night with both of our passports, with the actual passports. And we're going,
to make an appointment for this. Yeah.
We're here in Mexico with no passports, no nothing. I mean, literally, we weren't leaving the house because,
Right.
you know.
And it's important to realize that, you know, you had to get in line.
Mhm.
That was going to be a necessity. We had somebody who tried to go in there at 4 o'clock in the morning. They got in line, and guess what? Gates closed right before they got up to the gate to make their
Yep.
appointment. So at that time, that money we spent, that paid for somebody to stand in line 2 nights in a row.
It was well worth it. I mean,
In addition to making our appointments, setting everything up, getting, you know, taking us out to get our tip at the airport, at the aduana office.
no, we paid
all of
extra for that.
But all of
But
that
yes.
combined,
But yes,
all of that combined was about the same amount of money as what we paid this time. But in addition, we also got our address changes and our RFCs. So money to money, we spent about the same, but we had more
and the
services.
tip extension.
Yes, but we spent about the same,
Yeah.
but we had additional services.
Yes, we did.
We had an RFC
Yes, we did.
and an address change.
And we would not change either one of the two. Let me explain that. I mean,
No,
no, I mean, you know,
No, we had
Yvonne
excellent
and
service.
Carretro did an outstanding job of taking care of us.
Yep.
And Jonathan here in Merida also gets a thumbs up.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody wants to use a facilitator because they want to save the money. Hey, that's great. More power to you. It can be done. People do it all the time.
Peace of mind.
It was
That
just,
was us.
with us, it's peace of mind. And with me in particular, it was availability during a day to deal with it when I'm working, which was really hard to do. So,
And we don't want to screw it up, because if we screw it up, it's a long drive from here to the border.
so yeah. Lisa is ordering the relocation guide.
Yes,
It's a good guide.
it's a very good investment.
You know.
That's $495 well spent.
Is
I
that
mean,
what it costs these days?
yes.
Yeah, it's still.
I mean,
it's been
and-
so
and-
helpful.
And I know that it would cut us out of a little bit of a chunk, but if you go through Mexico, Retired Life Mexico No Bull, you do get a 10% reduction because he doesn't take any money. So if you're interested in doing it that way and money's an issue, go do it through Ernie. We get a kickback on that. If
It's through our link.
it's through our link,
Right.
but if money's an issue, go to Retired Life Mexico No Bull and you can save that. But either way, it's well worth every penny.
It is.
Because we still use it.
We do. Thank you. Mrs. Malacone and I are booked with a facilitator next month for permanent visa status in La Paz. See, and so you've been here long enough that you're ready for permanent, and you're still using a facilitator.
And
It's worth it.
I think that 3 years from now,
Mhm.
when it's time for us to become permanent,
We'll probably do it too.
not probably.
Unless our Spanish improves, but yeah.
Again, we're going to do that.
I just bought the guide. She has payment plans now. Wow. That's pretty cool. Smart. That's smart.
Mariana's on. Ain't no moss growing on her.
Oh gosh, guys. We're almost getting there. It's 9:15. Are you kidding me?
Oh, so it's only been 3 hours.
Best decision ever.
Oh,
Mexico
absolutely.
Relocation guide. That's right. We agree.
Whenever you have a question, what's the first place, about living here or anything else? What is the first thing you do? You go to Mariana's guide and you go, bam. And when it came to looking for a facilitator down here, the first place we went, Mexico Relocation Guide. Okay, all these people got these types of reviews.
Car insurance, Mexico Relocation guide.
Yep.
We have not dealt yet. We keep putting this off. We haven't dealt yet with health insurance yet. We're still getting Safety Wing, Nomad
I know.
cards at the moment.
I know, which covers us for catastrophic.
Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know.
Well, we need something to make sure we're covered for.
No, I know.
Major.
I'm still trying to decide. I'm just trying to decide.
It's
Because it could be cash for, like, for example, we paid for your hearing aids, just cash, done. And it still costs less than it would have in the United States.
oh God, yes.
So, I don't know. Oh, let's see. Already have my permanent, but I should really use a facilitator for my RFC, DL, and INAPOM card. Thanks. You are
Tom,
welcome.
To be honest, one email thread with a facilitator,
Mhm.
and you'll be done with all that.
The interesting thing, let me tell you about this RFC. Okay, so a lot of people initially, when they said everyone had to have one, a lot of people had to make the appointments, go to the SAT office, and take a thumb drive with them for their electronic signature, yada, 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 yada. If you are not going to buy property, if you're not going to buy a car, if you're not going to open a bank account, you don't need the electronic signature. You just go get an RFC, just the number. They just assign you a number, but you don't have the electronic signature.
Then you can do the other
It's not a
part of it later.
requirement to have the electronic signature. And so that's how our facilitator was able to get us a couple of RFCs fairly quickly without us having to go anywhere or be present to sign anything. And that's what we have right now. Now, in 3 or 4 years, whenever we finally go to permanent and we start looking for buying a car, things like that, then we're going to need electronic signature. So your choices, your options right now, depending on your situation, is to get the one with the electronic signature or don't. Just get the RFP number.
He already has his permanent. So
Yeah,
I would say recommend, go ahead and do the whole biometric
Yeah.
electronic
You're
signature,
going to have to do
because
that.
you're going to be down here, Tom. And yeah, you're going to need all of that. And there's a part of me that when we made this decision, it was sort of a, yeah, we could do this, we could do that. We got burned one time by not having a Mexican credit card.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so if we'd have had a Mexican bank account, we could have had the Mexican credit card, and that would have solved the whole
I'm
problem.
really not so eager about
No.
that.
I'm just saying, but it did occur one time, and so it's sort of a, you know, plus minus. If you're a permanent resident, you're gonna want a bank account.
Yep.
And that would change everything. So.
Wife and I got our RFCs, including electronic signature in Cozumel, in about an hour. People in the office were very helpful. Thank you, Doug. That's good to know. I'm thinking that, eventually we are going to have to have the electronic signature. We just weren't really eager to do it right now. It wasn't a requirement for us at the moment. Eventually, we're going to need it. Of course, eventually, maybe by that time, they would have changed the law again.
Well, and look, that's extremely possible. Let's be for real. That changes. So I don't know, like they change socks. And people in the office, very helpful. Not a shock. That's, we have yet to find a dignitary or official of the government who has not been anything but helpful.
True.
No.
True.
So.
All right. Well, that was a whole lot of, I don't know what, singing and concerts and occasionally a slice of Mexico thrown in there.
Yeah.
I'm staying here. So do I need the help of my facilitator for many things in life? I do need, yes, forever. I agree. You know what? Yeah,
I don't know if I know forever.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being self-sufficient. Kudos to everybody who can do it. Plus, it saves money that way. But you know what? I look at it like this. Somebody here who lives here and has a job, this is how they make their money.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I don't necessarily have the flexibility. Maybe my Spanish is not as good as it really needs to be, that I feel comfortable in doing these things and doing them correctly. Maybe I just don't even have the time because I have to work again during all the business hours when these offices are open. I'm willing to pay somebody to do that. I'm willing to pay somebody to do that. And in doing so, I'm helping them earn some money. And
we're furthering the economy.
We're going to give them a great review.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are going to see that review.
We're going to give them a good review if they do a good job. Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. You have a good night too. And I think, salud. Yes, everybody's getting ready to roll off.
Yes.
It's getting late. It's almost 9:30. We have been on for almost 3 hours, and that was after the fiasco.
It's pool time.
It's definitely time to go dip in the pool. We're just lucky we got that pool again.
And I got news for you, folks. It's not a big pool, but damn, is it cold.
Yeah, this pool's cold for some reason.
Woo!
Yes. 3:30's coming up early, so good night. Love the lives. Good night, Terry.
Been there on that schedule.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
See you in
2 more weeks. You guys have a great night. Hasta la próxima.
Adios.
Oh, God. Bye, guys.